weekday afternoons from 3 to 6. It's time to get up and get your day started. It's Sports 56 mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome in. Time for another edition of Sports 56 Mornings. It is the Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 edition to be exact. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Elijah Seegers with you. We're live and local, as we always are each and every day, broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. It's pool time, or just about, right? We are already booking installations for 2025, so you can buy now and get on the list for your pool installation at Family Leisure. All pool accessories up to 20% off. And then you got patio furniture up to 50% off select sets, plus deals on swim spas and cold plunge tubs, 5 to 6 person hot tubs. And you mentioned this ad, you get free installation when you purchase any of those. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. As I said, just about pool time. It's 58 degrees this morning. Not exactly pool weather, but it will warm up to 82 degrees today with plenty of sunshine, a little bit of clouds as well. Then tonight, 62 for your low, partly cloudy skies, and then your Wednesday looks to be pretty much a carbon copy of today before the next threat of rain looks like Thursday night. Coming up on the program today, the Grizzlies back in action tonight. Game 2 in Oklahoma City. Will anything be different? 6:30 tip on TNT. We will discuss that on the program today. We will also talk about some things that Kendrick Perkins had to say about Jaren Jackson Jr., Stephen A. Smith had to say about Ja Morant. It seems like it's coming from everywhere as far as the Grizzlies are concerned after that embarrassing Game 1 performance in which they lost by 51. We'll take a look at the rest of the NBA playoffs. There were 2 games last night with those respective series being evened up. 3 more games on the docket tonight, including that Grizzlies game. Other NBA news that we'll get to. There's been a trade in college football. Well, sort of, kind of, but perfect timing with the NFL draft beginning on Thursday. Yes, college football right now is nuts with the portal open. We will discuss that on the program today. Also, Memphis basketball could be a big week for the Memphis Tigers. After some bad news recently, could be some good news on the horizon for Penny Hardaway's team. Connor O'Gara is going to join us at 7:25 to talk college football. Brevin Knight at 8:05, Grizzlies television analyst and former NBA point guard on the Grizz. We will talk at 9:05, not with Mickey Barker. Mickey's actually in a tournament this week, so our golf segment, pinch hitting, is our good friend Austin Chin, also from Memphis City Golf, and we'll talk to him about all things going on with golf in the city of Memphis. We got Humdinger's Trivia coming your way as well, plus your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. That is a full show. And, of course, you know by now, because it started yesterday, we're giving away $98.50 at some time today, Eli Savoy, and that will go on as long as the Grizzlies stay alive in the postseason.
Yeah, that's right. Some point we made a winner yesterday. At some point today, there will be another one. And we know for a fact that they will continue throughout this week. And then we will see if the Grizzlies win some games. They will continue into next week as well. Thanks to our great sponsors, Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South, and Club Car Wash. Right now, get 25% off any membership for 12 months at clubcarwash.com. And, happy to put money in people's pockets. Great way to make people happy.
So I watched the first of the 2 games last night, and then I decided, you know what, I'm going to catch up on some sleep. So our late-night NBA reporter, Elijah Seegers, of course, he was up and ready to go and watch that game last night. And the Clippers evened it up with Denver 105-102. Kawhi Leonard, it's nice to put the guy on shelf and bubble wrap for like pretty much the entire season, then you pull him out in the postseason.
Man, is it a luxury to have or what? What we saw last night from Kawhi, I like to call it the aimbot game, where Of course, we know Kawhi is a cyborg where he just has this hardware installed where he just doesn't miss a shot. And that's what we saw last night. 39 points on 15 for 19 shooting is ridiculous. Well, ridiculous stuff.
Look, that's a fun series already, and they're only 2 games in. That is all the makings Eli of going 7.
No doubt. It's a great matchup. And yeah, that was vintage Kawhi. That was NBA Finals MVP Kawhi. As like I said, I mean, 15 out of 19. Seriously, like it's just he can get in those modes, and it was from the very get go. You just felt like it was one of those where Kawhi was not going to let them lose that game, and despite Jokic's best efforts with the triple double and Russell Westbrook having another efficient game, everything else, Clippers found a way to win. But yeah, that game or that series to me is a complete toss-up, and we've already seen 2 games go down to the wire. I would expect we'll see plenty more of that, and I would figure 7 games very well could be on the horizon in that one.
So I went away from what I always do, and that's play Nikola Jokic for a triple-double. I should have just taken what I have left in my account and threw it on Nikola Jokic for a triple-double. Not sure what the odds were, but probably plus 115, something like that. Instead, I went with a parlay. You know how I love the parlays, and you tell me not to bet the parlays. But I did that with the Knicks game. And it was a really good payout for not a lot of legs. I had 5 legs. And 4 hit like easily. And the one that did not hit, and he's burned me before, is Karl Anthony Towns. Every once in a while, and this guy's been a great acquisition for the Knicks, but every once in a while, he disappears. He had 10 points at halftime. He finished with 10 points. And he played. It wasn't like he got hurt. And he didn't take, I think he took a shot maybe in the second half. That's it. Like, I don't know what happened, but the Knicks ended up losing that game despite the efforts of Jalen Brunson. Cade Cunningham went for 33 points and 12 rebounds. He was terrific. I think Jalen Duren finished with a double-double, if I'm not mistaken, the former Memphis Tiger. And Detroit wins 100-94. Again, some of these, like every once in a while, he disappears. He had a disappearing act, a little Houdini, and the Knicks lose at home, and Detroit evens the series up.
Yeah, the Pistons, it was getting a little nip and tuck there as they were blowing another lead and letting the Knicks go on a run. But Dennis Schroeder steps up and makes the massive 3, and he was basically the only Pistons player who could make a 3 in the game, as he went 3 for 5. The rest of the team went a combined 3 for 22 in the game. But he just ice water in the veins that had no problem knocking one down with less than a minute to go after the Knicks had battled back to tie it. But Cunningham was fantastic, getting to the rim, getting to the line. And although Thibodeau, come on, Tom Thibodeau, seriously, you're complaining about foul calls. First of all, the Knicks beat the crap out of everybody. That's how they play. And to act like Jalen Brunson doesn't get calls that Cade Cunningham gets, that may be the most outlandish statement I've ever heard. But, the Pistons, they got the one, but I'm sure they're kicking themselves that they could very easily have taken both if they don't give up the 21-0 run in game 1. But at least last night they were able to recover. They went, I guess, I don't even know what it was, close to 6 minutes. It may have gotten over 6 minutes without a field goal before Cunningham found Duren on an alley-oop to finally end that drought there late in the game. But it looked like they were going to somehow blow another lead and somehow not win that game again. But again, Schroeder steps up, makes a massive shot, and then they did just enough down the stretch.
I thought they were going to blow the lead again. What was it, a 21-0 run in game 1?
Yes.
In which the Knicks had and took control of that game. You're right. Detroit could easily be up 2-0 with 2 wins on the road. But they're in good shape. They split in New York at the Garden. Pistons have been one of the big stories of the season. And if the Knicks somehow lose this series, they do drastic things. Thibodeau will probably be fired. But who knows? Again, a Houdiniac from Karl Anthony Towns. Brunson is doing everything he can to lead this Knicks team. But wow, again, Detroit evens the series, nearly blows it, but they don't. Tonight, 3 games. We'll get to the Grizzlies, obviously, in a second. Bucks and Pacers in Game 2, and I believe Lillard plays for the Bucks after they lost Game 1. He did a lot of mouthing on the bench in Game 1, most of it towards Tyrese Halliburton. It'll be interesting to see as those guys match up tonight. Indiana's a 4.5-point favorite. And then the Timberwolves and the Lakers, all eyes will be on L.A. with the Lakers losing Game 1 as the Timberwolves went in there and ripped them apart pretty easily. Lakers are a 5.5-point favorite to bounce back in Game number 2. But the Grizzlies and Thunder, the one we certainly care about around here, the Thunder coming off a 51-point win when there were, I believe, 12.5-point favorites. They're a 14.5-point favorite here. Surprised it's not more, but a 14.5-point favorite. 6:30 TNT, the Grizzlies and the Thunder. The Grizzlies have lost, I believe, now 10 in a row to the Thunder. What can they do? What can you do after that shellacking? Ja's come out and said, we will never play like that again, basically. Talk's cheap, but you have to make adjustments. What kind of adjustments do you expect the Grizzlies to make? What can they make to try to at least hang in this game? And trying hard would help them as well. One thing's being competitive. The other thing is actually trying. Once they got down big time, they stopped. So what do you expect?
I don't expect him to lose by 51. I don't expect him to win the game. I think it'll be somewhere in between there. Winning and losing by 51. I think the game will fall somewhere in that range.
It's a lot of gray area. That could be a lot of different things.
But I just don't. It's the 51-point loss is embarrassing, all that stuff. But I just don't see how they're going to win. Certainly at Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. Again, there's just you would be dumb to think they will. Again, it's 10 in a row, and it's not just 10 in a row. It's like they blow the Grizzlies out essentially every time they play. Hell, even the game, the Taylor Jenkins, the last game they were actually in the game, and it looked like they weren't going to get blown out. They still got blown out because they gave up the 26-5 run or whatever, and that game had lost by 20. Like they don't really have an answer. And again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will play a lot better tonight than he did on Sunday. So you lost by 51 with Shai having one of his worst games of the year. So I don't know what you do. The key is this. I mean, the bottom line is this. For the Grizzlies to be competitive with them and win a game, they are going to have to shoot lights out from three-point range. You can't do whatever they finished the other day, 2 or whatever, 3 of – what did they finish that game at? They finished 6 of 34.
Right, and the bench got 4 of those threes, I believe.
And one of them was a half-court shot.
Yeah.
The starting lineup went, 2 for 20.
Is that good?
From three-point range. I mean, they're going to have to – Bane's going to have to be great. Ja's going to have to be great. Jaren's going to have to be great. Like and they're going to have to knock down threes. They're probably going to have to make close to 20 threes to have a chance to beat Oklahoma City. And that they can do it. They're capable of that. Now, Oklahoma City's great defensively, so it makes it a little harder to do that. But the Grizzlies are capable of getting hot and making a bunch of threes, and that is the great equalizer in basketball at every level.
You have to do whatever you can. Shake up lineups, change, rotate. You got to do anything and everything. Scottie Pippen Jr., who I'm a huge fan of, should have been starting from game 1. It wouldn't have made a difference, but you don't start him, first of all, in this game. This is something strange. Now, normally this would be way out there. But, again, when you're in a situation where you lost by 51 points, nothing's off the table. Why not start a front line? We always talk about that third position, right? That wing, that 3. Jalen Wells is out. And why? Since Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't rebound, doesn't like the bang, doesn't go inside, start Edey at the 5, Start Bagley at the 4. Now you've offset the height and size of Holmgren and Hartenstein, and start Jackson at the 3. And then go Bain and Morant. I mean, seriously, it's crazy to some extent, but in this particular game, what do you have to lose? What do you think?
No, I think if there's a game to try things, it's this game, especially a game where you are expected to lose by a lot of points. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. I don't know how well it would work. I don't know how much it would realistically change. And I don't expect Marvin Bagley to have another 17.8 for 8, 8 for 9 performance from the floor, but sure, why not?
Right, what do you have to lose? I mean, Jackson plays on the wing anyway. So he's guarding Jalen Williams on the wing. You have Bagley battling Holmgren or Hartenstein. Flip them with him and Edey. Again, I mean, that's just a thought. By the way, as you said, Eli, and you're right, the stars have to be stars, and then some. Kendrick Perkins, the outspoken former NBA player on ESPN, who I like the guy. He comes out yesterday and says, Jaren Jackson Jr. is the most overhyped player in this league. He's not even a top 10 big in my eyes. So he put a list after, I guess, people were questioning who he was talking about, and he threw out 10 guys, bigs: Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, Mobley, AD, Kat, Şengün, Chet Holmgren, Wembanyama, Zubac, Hartenstein, KP, Bam Adebayo. And he says, here you go. I can't argue what he's saying. I don't know about overhyped. I don't know how much hype he gets, Jaren Jackson Jr. And obviously he's a very good player. He's an all-star. But I don't think it's nuts that he says he's not even a top 10 big after rattling off that list. So Jaren Jackson Jr., yeah, can he be great? He's just not been great in the postseason his entire career. He's had games, but pretty much very minimal as far as production and domination and a difference maker. And that's what it's all about. Putting up numbers in the regular season, who cares? Yeah, you make an all-star team. But now is where you earn your money in the postseason.
First of all, to some of the guys that like that, Jared's way better than some of the guys on that list.
Who is he way better than?
He's better than Hartenstein. He's better than Zubac.
Is he? Hartenstein dominated yesterday. Game 1. Zubac, there's no way he's better than him. No way.
So I guess all the All-NBA voters are going to be completely wrong on Jaren Jackson Jr. now because he, like everybody else, had a terrible game 1.
I don't think it's a given he's 13. I think he will be. But they'll also look at All-Star, that he was an All-Star.
So everybody was wrong in his All-Star. So all the coaches would put him in All-Star.
No, he deserved it.
Everybody now is just wrong on Jaren Jackson Jr. because he, like every other Grizzly, had a bad game 1.
No. He deserved to be an All-Star, and he's a very good player. But I think he certainly, as Perkins pointed out, you can make the argument he's not top 10 big. You can make the argument he is. I'm not saying either way. I'm just saying what he said yesterday isn't crazy. That's all I'm saying. And Jackson has to step up in his postseason play. I'm not breaking an atom over here. I'm not, nuclear fusion or anything like that. The guy's got to play. The big three have to all be great and then some to even be in the game.
In the playoffs a couple of years ago, Jaren averaged 18 and 8.
Look at individual games. Somebody put a list of all the games there, and there's more bad than good. Come on, you can't sit here and tell me that Jaren Jackson has been a guy that has come through in the postseason in his NBA career. What they really need from him, he's produced. He's been okay. Again, he has the capability of being great. And that's what people want him to be great. Go out there, bang a rebound or two. Get yourself 6, 7, 8 rebounds, not 2 or 3. Shots are going to fall. Sometimes they're not. That's part of the game there, but you got to impact the game in other areas. The other thing is Stephen A. Smith, who said, and this I don't have the quote in front of me, but I caught some flack for retweeting it and said I agree with him. And I'm sorry. And to me, you celebrate like hockey. After a series is done in the postseason in the NHL, after they've beaten the crap out of each other, they line up on the ice, they shake hands, they give each other a high five or a hug, and they say, good game, good competition, congratulations, best of luck to you the rest of the way, or best of luck to you next season because you've been eliminated. That's the way it should be. But apparently people want to be, lovey-doveys. That's fine. Hug. And to me, you just got embarrassed by 51 points. Go to the locker room. You don't need to be out there hugging and kissing your opponents. I mean, that's my opinion. Some people think that's actually like a statement that there's facts. No, there's not. It's an opinion. The opinion of mine is don't do that. I don't care whatever level you've played. Don't do that. Don't congratulate your opponent for just embarrassing you. Again, maybe I'm old school, but that's the way I've always felt. Move on. Be man about it. Don't be disrespectful to the opponent. Go on, move to the locker room, regroup, get ready for the next game. And at the end of it, when it's all over, when it's all said and done, you show sportsmanship, you shake hands, you hug it out, you wish the team good luck. That's it. That's what I agree. I think that's what Stephen A. Smith was saying yesterday. All right, speaking of basketball, take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. It's a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification, provides instant objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. In other words, it is technology you've never seen before, with analytics, with the numbers being shot out to you right away. I mean, you know exactly what you're doing, where your arc is, how you're shooting the basketball. Plus, you got the coaches helping you out as well. So you're getting it from both sides, the analytical side of the ledger, and then from actual one-on-one expert coaching from guys that have been around the game for a long time. It just makes sense to go check it out, take a tour, and then sign up for a monthly membership. You're not going to get bogged down with a year or multi-year contract because that's what they offer at Shoot 360 Memphis. For basketball players, it just makes sense. For families of basketball players, it makes sense. It's a great gift, graduation gift, or a birthday present, whatever the case may be, Christmas present. They get a membership. You can go online to Shoot 360 Memphis. When I say Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and others have used this system, that's not hyperbole. That's the truth. And for all you coaches out there, they offer free coaching clinics. Just contact them and find out when the next coaching clinic is available. 2 locations, the Big Boy in Cordova at 85 Market Street, and then Big Orange Road in Collierville. That's the original. Here are the numbers to call. Write them down. If you can't, just call the station. We'll get the numbers for you. Call in Cordova at 901-779-3176 or in Collierville, 901-316-5500. Check it out. I'm telling you, you're going to fall in love with it. The future of basketball training is here at Shoot 360 Memphis. When we come back, we shift gears. We're going to talk some college football. Connor O'Gara joins us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Spring football is here. Get your first look at Memphis football at the annual spring game Saturday, April 26th. Kickoff is set for 3 o'clock at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Admission and parking is free. It's Family Fun Day featuring Pouncers Pals, food trucks, prizes, and autographs. Tiger Bookstore will be there with a Memphis Athletics equipment sale. Be there, be loud, and go Tigers go. For more information, visit gotigersgo.com.
Attention construction workers. Microwave Option brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed business photos and sell contact info. Inspect online or in person with our no reserve policy. Every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals, your next great purchase awaits.
Join us celebrating 26 years of Napa Cafe. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I'm inviting you over for dinner. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner of scrumptious combinations, fresh salads, homemade soups, or maybe start with an appetizer, like our baked Dungeness crab dip with manchego cheese, lemon, garlic, and French baguette toast. Drift into one of our fresh seafood dishes, like the caramelized sea scallops with curry beurre blanc, black forbidden rice, and Thai mango salad. Or our ancho honey glazed salmon with creamy black bean puree, avocado pico de gallo, and jalapeno crema. Maybe you're looking for something cozy and comforting, like our Duroc pork chop with apple brandy demi-glaze and blue cheese bacon mashed potatoes. We have something for everyone. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe. I'd sure love to see you.
It's the Freedom of Choice pricing program, Ram Truck Month and Jeep Celebration all in one at Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the Pine. 2025 Compass Latitude 4x4, $49.69 off MSRP and $24,796 with Jeep Select Terrain System. Go from snow, sand, and mud. 2024 Dodge Hornet RT all-wheel drive, $12,673 off or $397 a month with a turbocharged 2.0-liter engine standard. One of the most powerful SUVs in its class. Or 0% for 72 months is available. 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab with best-in-class payload capacity now $13,335 off MSRP. Or 1.9 for 72 is available. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
7704 MSRP 29765 Hornet R3 A08 452 MSRP 44620 Ram SN 673 402 MSRP 5170 includes all rebates and incentives PF 895 excludes tax title license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Top Gun is the largest indoor range in the Mid-South, but size isn't their only difference. Top Gun has the best instructors with over 300 years combined experience and classes all the way from first shot to master marksmanship. Plus, Top Gun is affordable. Gold membership is just $48 a month. That's just $1.60 a day for a limited range time. Free gun rentals with purchase of ammo and members lounge access. Top Gun 2770 Whitten Road and TopGunMemphis.com. Always ship with the best. Top Gun Memphis.
This traffic brought to you by Brinson Tax Service. They protect you like family.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still trying to wrap up this accident out here. One car is still turned around sideways. There's a lot of rubbernecking associated with this crash on Bill Morris Parkway going eastbound here at Hickory Hill. Now, it is starting to build on the westbound side like it normally does this time of the morning coming in from Collierville. It's trying to pick up already I-40 east across the Hernando de Soto Bridge coming over from West Memphis. Weimer's Jewelry serving Memphis now for over 40 years. Bridal season's just around the corner. Go see them today at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
You know, Tuesdays are not always the same. My favorite Tuesdays are when Connor O'Gara makes an appearance.
It's time to talk some SEC and college football. Joining Greg and Eli is Connor O'Gara from SaturdayDownSouth.com and SaturdayTradition.com. Here's Connor O'Gara with Greg and Eli.
He doesn't join us every Tuesday, but he joins us every other Tuesday, and we are so excited to have Connor O'Gara joining us this week, the senior national columnist for Saturday Down South, host of the Saturday Down South podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. Good morning, Connor.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good, man. The draft is already underway. We had a trade. That trade sends Nico Iamaleava to Southern California and UCLA. In the acquisition, the Tennessee Volunteers pick up quarterback Joey Aguilar. Also thrown into the deal, Madden Iamaleava Just some weird, wild stuff. So from everything you've heard in your contacts, did he take less money when it's all said and done to go to UCLA?
Yes. There's no debate whatsoever. And if he wasn't taking less money, you can sure as heck believe that would have hit the masses. And let's just say that Nico's dad would be back on Twitter, and he would have probably tried to tell everybody, hey, we actually got more money out of this deal. No, he got a pay cut. There's no way around it. And honestly, this is a situation in which I think both Tennessee and Nico will be worse off. I do. And it's hard to look at this and think, oh, you're going to be in better shape. And yes, Tennessee no longer has to deal with the Iamaleava family, and that's all well and good. But you would also rather be good at the game's most important position. And Nico gave you a better chance of doing that than, with all due respect, Joey Aguilar. Now, if we want to get into the side-by-side of what each quarterback does well and what each quarterback struggles with, that's a little bit more up for debate. But, you're now talking about having to kind of start over and implement a very different QB1 structure than what you thought you were going to have with a returning starting quarterback who obviously got very valuable experience last year. So, yeah, this whole thing is a mess. It's an absolute mess. It's crazy that it worked out to be a trade. For everybody's saying, hey, there's no trades in the NFL draft, what a lackluster year. Well, I don't know what sport you're watching, but in college football, yes, that is definitely the case, and it's been very exciting.
It's funny. I mean, it's not you expect it. It always happens, especially with college fans. But the way Tennessee fans talk about Nico and what he is on the field, it was his first year as a starter, and he took you to the playoff. I don't know why. All of a sudden, it's he really wasn't that good anyway. Okay, he may not have been spectacular, but he was good enough to get you to the playoff in his first year as a starting college quarterback.
I think context is needed with that. And if you're saying that he was Peyton Manning 2.0, I would push back on that because there is very clearly a difference between a game-changing quarterback who carried you to a playoff versus a quarterback that was not, let's just say, bad enough to ruin the path to the playoff. I was explaining to Ryan Brown, who does great work for the next round and somebody that I greatly respect, but he asked the question, you look at side-by-side, Nico compared to Lenore Stellers, why is there such a different conversation? I'm like, well, do you watch them play? Because that's really what this comes down to. And if you're looking for the reason why Nico isn't necessarily regarded as this elite break-the-bank quarterback, it's because 14.9 of his pass attempts were 20 yards, 20-yard attempts, and that was 12th in the SEC in an offense that we know they love to attack downfield. 38% adjusted completion percentage on those throws, also 12th in the SEC. And to me, the real kicker is how much Nico struggled under pressure last year. 4.9 yards per attempt on throws under pressure, 52% adjusted completion percentage. That's bad. And to me, really what kind of sets it apart and what gives me pause thinking that he's going to take that next step, in those situations where he's under pressure, PFF had 27 SEC quarterbacks that had at least one big-time throw. Nico Iamaleava was not one of them. His backup, Gaston Moore, had 2. So really, what are we talking about here? If we're talking about a guy who, yes, led them to the playoff, but are we just going to pretend Dylan Sampson didn't exist? Are we going to pretend that one of the top 15 defenses in college football didn't exist? Because they did, and they greatly helped Nico more than his dad is probably giving him credit for.
So everything's out of whack, and the calendar is really screwed up. And you alluded to this earlier. You got guys coming in now to their respective schools, UCLA and Tennessee, at the end of spring ball, and now in the offseason, they have to learn the system and then have to implement it in August camp, a quick turnaround. So this is hard for everybody, but obviously this calendar, they need to fix a lot of things, but the calendar has to be fixed.
Yeah, it has to be fixed. There's no doubt about it, and I think it will get fixed, and I think we're eventually going to shift to the OTAs model that the NFL has. I talked to Manny Diaz about this a couple of weeks ago when he came on my show, and he said, yeah, let's just take the NFL calendar. Let's do that. And he says that even though Duke is on a different system than a lot of people in terms of the academic calendar, but he's like, yeah, this is what would make more sense. And it's not really about the length of the portal window. He said, you could have the portal open for 9 days or 9 minutes, and you're still going to get the same amount of entries.
Right.
You know
Right.
who's going into the portal, so it's not even so much about that. It's just the timing of it, and how can we figure out a way so that you don't necessarily have to worry about the mid-year departures, because that's what really gets them into trouble, and it's a lot of legwork, I think, behind the scenes to get this figured out. As much as everybody would love a full off season and would love for guys to be enrolling in December and January, you could still structure this to where they're still getting plenty of reps with that shift in the OTAs model, so they're getting those off-season reps and transferring at the end of the school year, and it kind of makes more sense for all parties.
Well, this week we get the college football playoff folks meeting. I assume we're not going to get anything, definitive answers out of this. Some of the stuff that's being thrown around there is possible, like things that they'll be talking about, like the one where I saw that, like, literally might start considering television ratings to determine conference automatic bids. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, what are we doing?
What?
That to me wouldn't make as much sense. You don't have to. We have 20 years of data that shows us that not all conferences are created equal. If we want to go that route, I mean, you could still point to the success that teams like Clemson have had in the ACC, and you could say, all right, well, you know what, they've done this, this, and this in the playoff era. Florida State had a moment where it was looking really competitive at the start of the playoff era, and then, what it was in 23. But reality is, you have very specific data points for all of these conferences that if and when they decide on what the automatic bid situation looks like, I'm not going to push back. And I know there are going to be ACC people and Big 12 people going, hey, well, what about this, this, and this? I'm like, well, you know what? The ACC hasn't won a single New Year's Six game or a playoff game in the 2020s decade. Do we just want to pretend that doesn't exist? All right, the Big 12 doesn't have a team in the conference currently that has won a real claim national title since Colorado in 1990. Do we want to just pretend that doesn't exist? Meanwhile, the SEC is the conference that is cleaned up and has won 13 of the last 19 national championships. Do we want to pretend like that doesn't exist? Or pretend like the Big Ten didn't make 4 significant adds with what it did with conference realignment? These things happened. And everybody can pretend that these things just don't impact competition, but reality is they do. And we're going to see that reflected in what these bids look like. We don't even have to do the ratings thing. And I hate ratings police and the people that are just sitting there, trying to form their narratives around it. But the competition speaks for itself, and I think that's what's ultimately going to win out when we get this expanded playoff announcement.
Connor O'Gara, the senior national columnist for Saturday Down South, joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Okay, so I understand exactly what you're saying there, but don't you need a unanimous vote to get anything done with the commissioners?
Yeah, and that's going to be part of this. In order to change this, in order to break the contract, you need all parties, TV partners included, and maybe that's where the TV ratings part of this comes up, is you need ESPN on board with it as well. And that's going to be the part that I think, you're still trying to figure out what exactly that looks like, because yes, TV ratings are important. You also want a national audience. The whole reason for the expanded playoff was so that the sport wouldn't feel as regional as it has been because of the teams that have dominated at the top. And so by ensuring the automatic bids, that's kind of the point, is that, yes, you're going to have less bids for the ACC than you will for the SEC for the Big Ten, but you're still at least guaranteeing, hey, you're going to have those 2 spots in there. And I think that's what ultimately they'd rather have the 2 and not have to worry about, oh my gosh, are we going to get that second team in, as opposed to, just making sure that that's automatically there and they don't have to sweat that out, in mid-December.
Well, I hear what you're saying. That's pretty bad if you're going to call yourself a power conference and in a 14-team playoff you can't get more than 1. But the Tony Petitti formula that he's throwing out there, the 4-4-2-2-1-1, I don't see, with 1 at-large and the 2 other power conferences, albeit a lot less than the Big Ten and the SEC in power, I get it. I don't see how that would be approved.
What's the alternative? The SEC and Big Ten make their own league and go home, and you're playing in a lesser championship that's got lesser ratings. Well, that's what the threat is. And I'm not saying I'm on board with that. I don't like that they would hold the conferences hostage, but at the same time, are they going to lower themselves and hold themselves to a lower standard and pretend that these things haven't happened? Why would they do that? Why would they ensure that everybody has the same exact automatic bids when they feel like, hey, if we're playing the same amount of games, we've got 2 decades worth of data to show us that our league is better than your league.
Mm-hmm.
And we recruit better, and we're able to have better coaches. We're able to have better NFL draft output. And all of those things, that gets factored into this. And it's not to say that every SEC team would beat every ACC and Big 12 team. Okay, that's not what we're talking about with conference strength. But when you're talking about who is elite at the top of the sport, all right, tell me then why the Big 12 in the entire playoff era won one stinking game, only to have it then be basically reversed the very following game and lose 65-7 to Georgia. Conferences don't play playoff games. I get it. But just, is that a coincidence? We've had 11 years of this thing. So that's really, to me, the point that the SEC and Big Ten are able to drive home. They're saying, we're going to take our own ball, we're going to play at home, we're going to make our own Premier League. And I'm not necessarily in favor of that, but I get the logic, and I get why they have all the leverage in this situation.
I thought going forward with the new deal, they don't have to have unanimous approval. It's the Big Ten, the SEC, and ESPN really that have all the power. They don't have to get unanimous approval
to change the contract before it ends.
No, that's okay for this coming season, but after that, the 26 and beyond, they don't need unanimous anything.
Right, because that's when the contract is up. Yeah. I believe, Eli, that you are correct on that, and that they wouldn't have to change it. We're talking about for changing it for 2025, changing any sort of structuring with the seeding not going to the highest ranked conference champs. That's when you need to, if you're trying to break a contract, that's when you need all parties involved to be, unanimous on that.
Because what I was reading, some people believe like some of these guys they're going to use the seeding for next year as try to use this as leverage. Like, you still need our vote for this, so can we get some concessions on the future one when we really have no power?
Yeah, but who cares about 1 year, 2025? It's the 26 and beyond contract that I'm concerned with. And if you don't need unanimous approval, then as long as Sankey is behind Petiti, this thing is going to be reality.
Do you
4-4-2-2-1-1.
Connor, do you like only one at-large spot, though?
I would prefer
Notre Dame
more.
has a good spot or a good season, then I don't like the year. You already know what the field is, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely prefer more. Let's be honest. I would definitely like to live in a world in which we are getting into those debates, and I think it was kind of maddening to get to that place this year where we're debating if 3-loss SEC teams were more worthy than 10-2 Miami. I didn't like those discussions because I didn't want to argue for any of them. I didn't want to argue for South Carolina or Alabama or anything like that. But yeah, I would like to get to that place, and that is the unfortunate byproduct of expansion is that you have these discussions, but they do drive discussion and move the needle with the sport. But I also acknowledge that there is a real need to get these conference bids as automatic bids, and why they want to lock them in is because they want this guaranteed floor for this new era of revenue sharing and all these things that they're trying to finance.
The other thing because they're talking about with especially the SEC, the Big Ten, they could have these basically play-in games along with the conference championship game at the end of the year so I guess my question is, so at the end of this, will the committee still pick the teams, or is the SEC going to just say, these are our 4 representatives?
Well, I think it would be based on the highest ranked. It depends. If we're still doing the playoff poll, then it's, all right, who are the 4 best teams in that? Because non-conference play still has to matter, so you can't just look at conference standings and go, all right, well, if you finish top 4 in the SEC in conference play, that's all that matters. But yeah, it would be based on who the 4 highest-ranked teams are from each individual conference.
Because they're talking about these playing games. They're like, well, 3 would play 6 and 4 would play 5 for their other 2 spots, and the 2 teams in the championship game are automatically in. I'm like, well, but what if 6 wins over 3, but they're not ranked higher? What? Or so you're just saying that if you win that game, you're automatically in, in the conference? It's just weird to me, some of the stuff they're trying to come up with.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know. And that's why I'm not trying to get too into the weeds with this, so I apologize for being vague, because there is a lot of this that has to be sorted out. When it's sorted out, we're going to have plenty of time to dissect whether or not there's true loopholes in this system. But yeah, for now, I do expect that it will be based on the 4 highest ranked teams, just in terms of that playoff poll and what that looks like. So they're not necessarily having to sit there and debate at the end. Okay, we know we have 4 that are going to the SEC. We know we have 2 that are coming from the ACC. What exactly does that look like?
Yeah, and look, they have plenty of time for 26 and beyond. They don't have as much time to tweak 25, so they got to get moving on that. And then, of course, the last thing, we don't have a lot of time here, but just get some comments, some thoughts from you, Connor, on the House settlement that still hasn't happened yet. I know there's the whole roster limits and things of that nature that the judge told them to go back and get that all situated, but where do we stand as far as that getting done?
They wanted this done before the April window opened for the portal. Like, coaches really wanted this done so that they knew what they were going to be offering and what it was going to look like with how much money that they have available for each team and, what this is going to look like behind the scenes. And that clearly has not been the case, and this is a little bit more complicated to be able to figure out. And it is significant because if we're trying to figure out what sports are potentially going to be cut, I'm more okay with this, being extended and having this figured out, more in the coming weeks than trying to get it before this football portal window. Football teams, they will adjust. They will adjust to whatever this House settlement is going to ultimately look like, and they will figure it out. So I'm not necessarily worried about what it's going to look like for the 3 or 4 players they're recruiting in the post-spring window, but I do know that there was that urgency, and I think it frustrated teams to not have that done before that April 16th date.
Great stuff as always. He's the senior national columnist for Saturday Down South, host of the Saturday Down South podcast. He's Connor O'Gara. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. He's with us every other Tuesday right here on Sports 56 Mornings. Thank you, Connor.
Gentlemen, appreciate it.
Take care. Be interesting to hear, by the way, what Ryan Silverfield has to say. He'll be joining us on Thursday at 9:05. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Pools, and more pools. Yes, it is pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure is already booking pool installs, so you need to buy now and get on that list. 24-foot pools start at $19.99 install. Liners are starting at $2.99. You're going to need some pool accessories, so they're all up to 20% off. Not quite ready for a pool? That's fine. Get a 5 or 6 person hot tub starting at under $7,000. You can also go for a swim spa or perhaps a cold plunge tub. Those are now $2,000 off. Get patio furniture up to 50% off on select sets. Buy your pool now. Get on that install list. Mention this commercial, and your install is free. It's underlined in the in bold print, so you know it's big. It's pool time at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work in them by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of area jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by area just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Andy Wise here. I'm an actual customer of Pella Windows and Doors of Memphis in the Mid-South. I was so impressed, I endorsed Pella as the standard in affordable luxury. And now, Pella's even more affordable. 12 months, no interest, no payments, plus 50% off installation. Mention you heard this on the radio and get another $500 off. I'm telling you, as your consumer investigator, as their customer, make the wise choice of Pella Windows and Doors of Memphis in the Mid-South.
Get
or come to Service Director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Wally Hatchet serves breakfast all day and Southern comfort food for lunch. Hatchet fans love our huge omelet, breakfast Sammys, scrambles, and chicken and waffles. For lunch, check out the Mississippi pot roast, chicken fried steak, grilled meatloaf, or one of our best-selling burgers, lipstick on a cow. Pickup, delivery, and catering are also available. Visit WallyHatchets.com to order online. Wally Hatchets is located at 6439 Summer Avenue and open from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. Wally Hatchets, count your blessings, not your calories.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Coming up in hour number 2, Humdinger's Trivia, followed by Brevin Knight at 8:05. As I mentioned before the break, Ryan Silverfield will join us on Thursday at 9:05. Tigers football news from yesterday. Cornerback Cody Jones enters the transfer portal. He's a former 4-star recruit. He's a transfer from Michigan, had just transferred to Memphis in January, and he's on the move again. In the meantime, Memphis gets, according to reports, a defensive back from Chattanooga in Ben Mawaba, 6'1", 190-pounder, who was a freshman last year with the Mocs.
It's
one in, one out.
It's a fun world. It's so I brought up because Heather did her story at ESPN talking about the meetings and things that will be discussed this week. She was one that threw out there, these are things that, according to her sources, that could possibly be presented as other options this week. A model in which each Power 4 league can earn guaranteed spots through a combination of its team's overall records and maybe even TV ratings could be presented. The highest ranked conferences would earn the most automatic bids. Okay, well, if we're giving away...
So a popularity contest.
If you're giving it...
Most fans.
The team's overall records, well, yeah, you're earning your spot in the playoff by...
Right.
I don't know.
That's the way it's always been.
I don't know why we need to... I don't know why we just can't say, hey, go earn your spot.
Don't complicate this thing or gimmick this thing.
Again, maybe, 3 spots for the SEC and the Big Ten. And then 1 for I don't know. But I just, to me, you got to have more than 1 at-large spot. And especially with Notre Dame sitting there. And again, if they have a good year, that's theirs. And then everybody else is.
There's no intrigue.
It just makes no sense to me. So, I don't know. It's just, we can't bring, and again, this is the ESPN part of it because ESPN, I'm sure that's, how many people watch your game should not matter on your worthiness to be in the playoff.
Yeah, they're trying to get higher ratings now.
Hey, let's go to that in the NFL because the Cowboys will be in the playoffs every single year. Then I'm good. We don't have to worry about that. Cowboys are automatically in. I like that. What? Who cares how many people are watching your games?
I know. First of all, you know you're going to 16, right? They're going to milk this thing. But why not just go to 16 and add 2 more at large and make it 3 at large? At least it's something. If you want to go 4-4, 2-2, 1-3, 1 being the group of 5, and then 3 at large, at least there's a little interest.
And she's, in her story, was also the one where she mentioned that the leagues talking, possibly doing the play-in games along with the conference championship game. And again, I don't. If 3
play-ins,
if
the NBA
3
sucks
plays
with these
6
play-ins.
And 6 wins, are we saying that 6 automatically gets the spot? That's what I don't understand. So is the conference telling
the square?
Is the conference telling the committee these are our 4 teams, and now you do with them what you want as far as seeding is concerned? Or do the rankings matter from the committee on who gets in?
I have no idea.
Because if 6 beats 3 and then 4 beats 5 Like, does 3 I have no idea. There's so much craziness to this with the SEC and the Big Ten just trying to figure out, in the end, how can they make the most money? That's because they want. Okay, if we had these,
of course,
if we had these extra couple of games, if we can add 2 more games onto conference championship weekend, that's big money for us.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, obviously, we're getting 4 teams in. Although, again, for these conferences, you're probably going to get 4 in anyway. I don't see why.
Yeah, they want it automatically.
I don't see why they're so afraid of more at-large spots. Hell, I would be fine with more at-large and fewer Big 12 and ACC just to open up those spots for our teams.
Enough with the play-in talk. I mean, who was it, Trae Young yesterday that came out and criticized the whole play-in thing with the NBA? I don't like it.
I think the NBA is great.
I don't think it's great. I don't like play-ins. I think if you're in, you're in. It's just like the whole first round, first 4, whatever you want to call it, in Dayton. I mean, to me, you have 68. You've earned your way into the NCAA tournament. You don't need these little gimmicky things, and that's what they are. These play-ins, these games in Dayton. If they were to have this in college football, it's ridiculous. Just put 14 in or 16 in. Make it simple. But to me, if you want to appease everybody.
Well, they would be putting 14 in. It's just the SEC. And
well, I know, but 14 with 1 at-large. Put 16 in, make it 3 at-large. It's simple, but they're going to milk it because they know they can earn in this TV contract a certain amount of money, and then when they increase it again, they'll earn even more money on the next TV contract. The next time they sit at a board, in front of at a table in a board meeting, they'll figure out, yeah, they're going to milk it. To me, just get it over with. You know you're going to 16. It appeases a lot of people. There's a little bit of excitement of having 3 at large, so 3 unknown, because you're right. Notre Dame, as long as Notre Dame does what Notre Dame's capable of doing every year, they're going to be the at large. And then you're going to have a group of 5 team that will sort itself out by the end of the year. Where's the interest going to be? Basically, if who the 4th team will be from the SEC, because there'll be 2 other teams battling, and maybe in the Big Ten where there'll be 1 or 2 teams battling for that spot. That's going to be all the intrigue. It's all about those 2, and it has been for a while now, and that's what Connor was alluding to that, and it will continue to be, especially if they have that type of power where you don't have to have a unanimous vote, like you said, with a new contract, which I did not know until you brought that up. And I'm thinking, oh, my gosh, they're going to absolutely have whatever they want. Whatever they want to push, they're going to push, and it's going to happen because of the power that they have. I mean, again, you're the ACC and the Big 12, and you're basically at the mercy of those 2 other conferences, yet you're considered power conferences. You're like the little brother. What does that mean for the group of 5? Oh, gosh, they're not even in the family.
But they had to see that power to avoid the SEC and the Big Ten from splitting off. So
I know, it's like a threat.
It is what it is.
It's a threat every year.
So that's why they gave them this power. And again, I don't know exactly what the voting, I'm not sure, but it's not a unanimous. And again, all power in college football is the SEC, the Big Ten, ESPN, and Fox.
Let me ask you something. Would you like to? Nobody would like to see it, but how would you look at it if there was a separate SEC and Big Ten together, one conference? Would you not watch the other one? Would your tendencies be just to watch those 2 conferences in their own separate?
It's the same as it is now. You're just narrowing down the teams that are the higher level. So, I mean, I would watch those, and I'd still watch some of the other stuff. Obviously, the University of Memphis would be involved, and others. So, I mean,
well, it's not the same. It's not even close to being the same. I mean, sure, you have the power is still there with the SEC.
The Power 4 becomes a Power 2. I mean, it's the same thing. It's just fewer teams at the power level.
No, I'm talking about a breakaway. I'm talking about a complete breakaway where you're watching games in this, whatever they want to call it, combination SEC Big Ten. And then you have the ACC, the Big 12. And, of course, they'll probably pluck a few teams from there to add to the SEC and to the Big Ten. So you'd have the remainder of those 2 conferences combined with the group of 5, whatever's left, and that's their own league, let's just say. I'll use the term league for a lack of a better term. Would you not have any interest in that other than maybe the local connections of having working in Memphis? Would you only care about that one? How do you think the fan bases around the nation? Most of the fan bases are still going to be involved with those teams that are in that second group because there's going to be more teams. Is there going to be more interest, though, from a national level, from a consumer?
Are you saying it's a separate division, like they're playing for their own championship?
Yes.
Well, no,
separate.
nobody's going to care about that. It's only going to be the top that they care about, just like now.
So you think they'll only care about SEC Big Ten and that's separate?
Division 1A, or whatever you want to call it.
Yes,
That's what people care about.
Really? Okay. Even though there'll be more teams represented in the other.
Well, there's a ton of teams in FCS right now. But do you think nobody cares about them?
Well, no, but right now we're talking about teams that have established themselves. Clemson's of the world. Although
Clemson
again,
would be up. I mean,
yeah, they'll probably be eaten up by the two power conferences that we're talking about here, the Big Ten and the SEC. But right now they're not. Right now, all those teams are part of Division 1A. They're not part of the FCS. So they're all part of this. But if you separate it, obviously it would be a level down. But it wouldn't be 1AA level. It's still going to be better football. It's just not going to be the football at the top, which is the case right now, yes. But I don't know if it was separate, if they wouldn't lose some of their, even though it's the same teams basically running football, the fact that everybody's not involved, I think would hurt them. I really do. We got to roll. We'll come back. We got Humdinger's Trivia and Brevin Knight. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Spring is here, and it's the perfect time to give your home a little love with Choate's $93 spring deals. Got a slow or smelly drain? We'll clear it for just $93, or it's free if we can't. Also, your home's electrical system is working 24/7 behind the walls, and an inspection from Choate's can help catch hidden dangers before they become big problems. We're talking about outdated or overloaded panels, loose wiring that can spark fires, improper grounding or GFCI protection, breaker issues, flickering lights, and more. Our licensed electricians will perform a full home safety check, identify risks, and give you a plan to keep your family safe and your power running strong. All for just $93. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to book your appointment today. Choates Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Let our family serve your family.
Quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed business photos and sell contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals, your next great purchase awaits. If a carpet refreshes on your experience, now's the time to check it off. Because right now, you can take advantage of buy more, save more savings. The more you buy, the more you save. 50% off sales special order purchases, plus our home services and installation. All these items just
Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. A crash still getting some attention. 55 southbound at 3rd. That's had traffic limping along down through there, passing Mallory, trying to get to 3rd there on 55 southbound as they work this accident. It's moving right now. 385 Billmore Parkway as you get up on that ramp there to 240, but it's starting to get a little bit heavier. Dandelions, crabgrass. Lawn Solutions says they can get rid of all this. Call Lawn Solutions today at 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis with Brad Mooresworthy and Bryant Dacus. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Elijah Seegers with you. We're live and local, broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios. You can check out Family Leisure at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 61 degrees. Going to get up to about 82 today. Sunshine and clouds mixed. And then tonight looks to be very comfortable, 62 degrees and clear skies, mostly clear skies. Real quick, I didn't mention this when we were talking about the NBA playoff games from last night. The Detroit win over the Knicks, 100-94, snapped their 15-game playoff losing streak. That was the longest in NBA history. I did not know that. Hour 2 is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. I'll give you a little more info on them a little bit later on, but right now, it's time for Humdinger's Trivia.
That's right. Chance for somebody to win a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers over at Poplar and Massey with some of that great food. Of course, today being Tuesday, that means Taco Tuesday. Their chicken and fish tacos, just $2 each. That's all day, each and every Tuesday. That you can take advantage of that deal. But you can always take advantage of the great food over there for the grilled fish options to their po' boy sandwiches or the piri piri burger or some of those great appetizers like the Humdinger shrimp or the crab cakes or the calamari. All kinds of great stuff to choose from over at Humdingers. HumdingersRestaurant.com is the website where you can check out that menu, order online, get out information on catering. All of that you can do at HumdingersRestaurant.com. If you are the first to answer our trivia question correctly, then you'll win a $25 gift certificate to Humdingers, and you can answer via text at 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Sissy's Log Cabin listener line. Send in those answers. First correct answer gets the $25 gift certificate to Humdingers. You are not eligible if you've won in the last 30 days, and you only get one guess. Here is today's question. Other than LeBron James, because LeBron James basically leads every category there is imaginable, among active players, who has the most career playoff rebounds? Other than LeBron James, who has 1,000, more than 1,000 more than any other active player, who has the most career playoff rebounds? Again, active players, and throw out LeBron James. 360-8255, 360-8255. Text in those answers. First correct answer gets that $25 gift certificate to Humdingers.
It is always great to catch up with our good friend Brevin Knight, Grizzlies television analyst, 12-year NBA point guard, Stanford graduate, and future Champions Tour golfer. You can follow him on Twitter at BrevinKnight22. He joins us now. Good morning, Brev.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Doing good.
Do you got good golfing weather in Oklahoma City?
It was fantastic golf weather yesterday. Petey and I went and golfed, and I avenged one of my demon golf courses that absolutely kicked my behind here in Oklahoma City. So it was a great day yesterday.
They have some pretty good courses. Which course did you play?
We played Oak Tree National.
Very nice. Very nice. You sound a little tired, but you'll be raring to go tonight. Hopefully the Grizzlies will as well after that first game debacle. What's the biggest smackdown you ever had as a player?
Oh man, I when you played on as many losing teams as I played on, there's not. I don't think there's one that stands out. But that was one that I cannot remember having any of that variety, especially on that type of stage.
What bothered me? Look, they're an uphill battle. Everybody understands they're the big underdog in this series. Okay. Oklahoma City has had the Grizzlies' number. They're a 12.5-point favorites. All that jazz, right? It's the playoffs, though. You got to pull out all stops. And when it started to spiral out of control, what I didn't like, Brevin, was I saw them stop competing. I saw them stop getting back on defense, and it was a conga line to the basket for Oklahoma City. That's the one thing that bothered me. Not that they lost, not that they got beat up, but they stopped really competing there.
I think the thing, I'm with you in having that initial feeling, and then I started to you started to think a little bit more. You got so much more time on your hands, especially with such an early game, that you can sit around and think about it. And the thought for me was that our team had just played two high-level playoff-esque games to get to this point. Right. And then to have the winner-go-home game situation at home against Dallas, then you turn around and one day get on a plane, fly here, and then you play the early game. Not so that there was the emotions that it took to even get here, the mental and physical toll that it took on them to even make it into the playoffs after what had been such a successful season, and then they had the downtime after the All-Star break. I felt like that played a bigger part of a bigger part than any of us could ever really understand. And so I think once it got to the point where Oklahoma City was pretty much having their way, I don't know if it was a conscious lack of continuing to compete, or it was just, this is not our night, or this is not our day. Mm-hmm. You guys got this one. We'll be back for game two. It's kind of the way that I formulated in my mind after being able to sit around and think about it a little bit more.
So if you had a chance to address the team after that, like what's the message you would give them after a game like that?
That is one. The good thing about playoff series is that one game is one game, whether it was 1 point, whether it was 50 points. You never want it to be embarrassing. That was in no way indicative or a representation of who we are as a team. We'll come out and be better in game two, but understand and we're not going to just throw it away, because feel the intensity at which they played the game. Feel the intensity at which the crowd cheered in that game. And then come back ready tomorrow to go over and address all of the mistakes that we made, but also let's highlight some of the positive things that were done in terms of you didn't make enough shots. You got to get back on defense, and I think it wouldn't be one in which, woe is me, the world is ending, the sky is falling, we can't do this. I'm not going to harken back into how many games in a row we have lost to them, but I would just the message for me would be understanding that's not us, and that's not going to be us in game two.
Grizzlies TV analyst Brevin Knight joining us from Oklahoma City. He's joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Tonight's game can be watched on FanDuel Sports Network with the Grizz Live preview show at 6 o'clock, pregame show, and then 6:30 tip-off from Oklahoma City.
About time you guys have to work again.
Man, shucks, I say the same thing. I as much as I enjoy talking to everybody during the game and being able to be comfortable wearing sweats to go to the game, I don't like not calling the game. And I don't, even though I tell people we don't have any effect on the outcome of the games, we still feel a part of the game when we're working. And that not working and not feeling a part of the game is for the birds.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. I can completely understand that. So earlier in the show, in our first hour, I said, look, you got to pull out all stops, right? everything's on the table. Any kind of combination, rotation, whatever it takes to be competitive in this game. Well, first of all, would you agree with that?
Oh, that's what the playoffs are.
Okay.
You can't get stuck in any way in the playoffs. You have to go to your second, third, fourth. That option that you and your boy was just sitting around talking about that had nothing to do with everyone else, that one may come into play when you have to play against a team of this caliber.
Okay, so here is my, I guess, unorthodox, somewhat crazy idea for tonight. You're going up against a formidable front line. You're going up against Chet Holmgren. You're going up against Hartenstein, and you're going up against Jalen Williams. That's a big front line, not to mention, obviously, the great SGA, who had an off game, believe it or not, in a 51-point win. My thought is, since Jaren Jackson Jr. is more of a perimeter big, you got Edey. Edey needs help. Bagley had a huge game. Start Edey, Bagley, and Jackson at the 3 to go along with Ja and Dez. That's crazy. That's unorthodox. What do you think?
Well, it to me, it would be more maybe you put a Vince Williams or John Conchar, or you put a bigger wing on the floor. Because the issue with that now is when you go on the other end, who do they defend? Unless you're going to play a zone defense, who's going to defend Jalen Williams out on the floor? And he's not going to say you're going to put Jaren out there because now you put him in position to pick up fouls. You're not going to put Marvin Bagley out there because it's an uncomfortable situation for him to have to guard a guy of that caliber for that long of a period of time. So I understand the thought process of more size on the floor. But I don't think that trying to play Jaren as a 3 is going to put him in a more favorable position, because now that just means that his area of the floor to work is going to have to be on the perimeter on the offensive end. And if they're defending him, if you put Bagley and Edey on the floor, then that allows them to already now defend him with Jalen Williams, which is something that they did, and it allows their 2 bigs to match up with bigs. At least if there's another wing on the floor, now you pull a big away from the basket a little bit more, and now Jaren still has the opportunity to either be a mid-post player, or if he's able to get the ball swung quick enough to be able to play off the dribble. I don't want to clog the floor up anymore. Offensively, you need more space on the floor on the offensive end, and like I said, conversely on the defensive side, you're now asking one of those bigs, either Bagley or Jaren, to have to play a lot of basketball against a ball handler that also plays in screen and roll action.
Well, one, that's why you're a great analyst. And number 2 is, I was thinking about that as well, that I knew some of those things you brought up were going to be an issue, especially the possibility of fouling. But my thought is, Jackson plays on the perimeter anyway. He shoots threes. He doesn't get rebounds. You got Bagley and Edey clogging Hartenstein up and Holmgren up, which is nice. You want to try to put it in the mud, get it in the mud a little bit on the defensive end. And he guards Jalen Williams, and if Williams gets by him, then there's Edey and Bagley with help defense. That's just my thought there. And offensively, he's in the corner most of the time anyway. So and maybe he can draw fouls.
Change, which to me is when you start to go through. All right, well, what changes can you make? For me, the change is number one, the ball has to move better on the offensive end. It cannot become a one-on-one or just a high screen and roll scenario. They're too good of a defensive team to be just set in that way.
But didn't it do that in Game 1 though? Isn't that what happened with Memphis' offense in Game 1?
Game 1, the Memphis offense just became run a high screen and roll and then make something happen, which is not enough to be able to beat this team. Like I said, there's going to have to be more of the ball moving, less dribbling.
Gotcha.
And now if the ball can move side to side, and now you want to make a dribble move, at least you have shifted the defense somewhat. If you never shift a good defensive team, then they just anchor in and they become that much better. And that's what we saw in Game 1. And so what I say is you don't want to clog it up anymore by putting 2 more bigs who don't stretch the floor, who they then can definitely play boxes and elbows. And the thing about Jaren and being a perimeter player is he's a perimeter player in terms of catch and shoot. He's a perimeter player in terms of attacking off the dribble to get into the paint to score. He's not a perimeter player that makes a move for a pull-up jump shot.
Gotcha.
So now you said that you can only play at the three-point line, because if you get close to the basket, they got two shot blockers that are sitting there waiting for you that don't have to ever go out to guard the other two bigs because neither one of them are perimeter bigs.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
With Oklahoma City, other than, I mean, obviously they got good players, but what makes them so good defensively?
To me, they're the best rotating team in the league. But what they do a good job of is they don't put themselves in rotation every possession. So what that means is if you're running the screen and roll, they're able to take care of the screen and roll with two people. Or that third defender is just halfway there, but he always can get back to his guy. If they do have to rotate, then they know exactly who is rotating and where they're rotating from. And then now on your next pass, they're good at now being at that pass. That's why I say you're going to have to make a pass and another pass to at least get ahead of them on the offensive end to create some type of advantage. And they're interchangeable with a lot of their positions. And so when you can do that, and when you have, I always say this, when you get offensive people to have a defensive dedication, then you put yourself in a position to be successful. And that's what they've been able to do. They have guys who are still offensive-minded, even the guys that come off the bench for them. They're got players who play offense, but they're also dedicated to their defensive individual and team assignments.
Mm-hmm. Brevin Knight joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line in Oklahoma City. He'll be on the call with Pete Pranica, Rob Fisher tonight of Game 2 of the Grizzlies series with the Thunder. What is your best guess, unless you had a chance to speak to him and he told you why, what is your best guess as to why Tomas Isolo has gone with Bagley and Conchar in his rotation and not playing much of Kennard and Vince Williams?
I think we always say in the playoffs, it's all situational basketball. And I think for what they have needed, it has been, they've gotten it. The thing with Conchar is he's just being John Conchar, which is he makes winning plays. He gets you rebounds. When I go back to the Golden State Warriors game, he played extremely well when he came in off of the bench in that game in terms of he got easy baskets offensively, but defensively, he ran around with Steph Curry. He rebounded when they needed it. Bagley in the first game here, he was the only player that found some level of offense. But if you go back to the Dallas game, he was effective because he's similar to what Brandon Clark brings to the floor, and we're missing BC in that athleticism at that position, but also the ability for you to be versatile defensively with him on the floor, whether he is showing and getting back, whether he's switching. I think he gives them that added just boost there. And you know, the thing for Luke and especially for Vince, it's just a matter of going in and affecting the game and whatever way is needed, whether it's knocking down shots, whether it's being a playmaker, whether it's being in the right position defensively. I just think that for a field, the other guys have been able to contribute in a way that the team has needed. But I don't think that either one of those guys are buried, and there's not a scenario in which we see either or the both of them play in today's game, because as you said, the Grizzlies only scored 80 points in that first game. And so if you want to have someone on the floor that has the ability to put it in the hold, and that's what Luke can do, you need a bigger defender. Like I said, I would not be surprised if we went to a bigger starting lineup and allowed Scottie Pippen Jr. to come off of the bench. Because the other thing is you would like to have guys that come off the bench that can change the game in some way. And that's what we've seen from Scottie this year, is that him coming into the game with the way that he pushed the basketball, with the way that the ball is then able to move off of an initial action. And those bench guys had found a rhythm of playing with one another. So I think there's the minutes may not have been there in these past couple games, but I could see more of them in Game 2.
Is there a minimum number of threes you feel the Grizzlies have to make to beat Oklahoma City?
Oh, minimum number. You got to get into. You would like to be into double digits, and I say the double digits because they are a conversion defensive team that's going to then force you to have to make shots. And I think that this is also a team that when you have a good shot, you got to take good shots, because a lot of times people say you turn down a good shot to get a great shot. Well, against good defensive teams, you turn down good shots, then you only get okay shots. And so
a great shot may not exist.
Exactly right. Those may not exist as much as you would get against any other team. And so I think being in double digits somewhere, you would like to say, can you get to 12, 13 made threes in the basketball game? The other thing is that what that is saying is not only is the points you making the shots, but it also allows them to get back defensively if you're making some of these perimeter shots, because the other thing that they're good at, they're one of the best teams in terms of changing ends of the floor, going from playing defense and making a rebound to now being on the other end already with an opportunity to score themselves. So any of those perimeter looks that they get, it would be nice to see them go down.
He is Grizzlies television analyst, 12-year NBA point guard, Stanford graduate, and future Champions Tour golfer Brevin Knight. You can follow him on Twitter at BrevinKnight22. And again, I know there's the national call on TNT, but the local and regional call, that's the one we prefer right there on FanDuel Sports Network with Brev, Pete, and Fish. So check it out tonight starting at 6:30. And, hopefully the Grizzlies shock the world and tie this series up. And it'll be off the charts on Thursday with them when they return home for game number 3. Brev, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Looking forward to your guys' call tonight.
No, thanks for having me. And yeah, listen, if they don't pull out the win, at least if we see the Memphis Grizzlies that we know, then that increases the enthusiasm for games 3 and 4 in terms of them then getting over the hump.
100%. Thanks, Brev.
All right, fellas.
Folks, Elwood Shack, whether it be breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever time of day, and you're thinking about great food, Elwood Shack has something for everybody. I've talked about it before, but I always enjoy going to Elwood Shack and just listening to people in line try and make the decision of what it is they're going to get, because there are so many different things on the menu that are absolutely delicious, whether it be maybe some of their barbecue or maybe the tacos, like the fish tacos, or maybe one of their great hot dogs or the burgers or the pizza or those deli sandwiches with their house-made meats. Man, it's just absolutely fantastic stuff. But they also serve breakfast. Both locations, breakfast every single day. That's right. You can check out the barbecue breakfast burrito or any other great breakfast items from 7 a.m. until 10:30, Monday through Saturday. Sunday, they open up at 8. And over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, they also have an additional brunch menu that they serve from 9 until 3. So not only great lunch and great dinner, but breakfast as well. They got a full coffee bar at the Park Avenue location as well. Much bigger location, much more room. They got that full coffee bar for you coffee lovers that want your cappuccinos or lattes or whatever. You can check that out at the Park Avenue location of Elwood's Shack. The two locations, 4523 Summer Avenue, that's in the Lowe's parking lot at Summer and Perkins. 4040 Park Avenue, that's right across the street from the University of Memphis, Elwood's Shack.
Do we have a winner, by the way?
We do.
Tell you about it after?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Also, when we come back, we're going to talk a little Memphis Tigers basketball, some portal news, and some NFL draft news as well. By the way, Joe DeLeon joins us tomorrow at 9:05 to break down the NFL draft. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for a high-efficiency planting solution? The Case IH 2150 early riser planter combines the industry's most accurate planter technologies with a run-and-row unit for fast and uniform emergence. The Case IH 2150 early riser operates at your speed and adapts to unique field conditions so you can maximize your yield potential. Stop in or call Mid-South Ag Equipment at 662-890-3141 to learn more. That's Mid-South Ag, your Case IH Equipment headquarters.
It's the Freedom of Choice pricing program, Ram Truck Month and Jeep Celebration all in one at Goss and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the Pine. Pine. 2025 Columbus Latitude 4x4, $49.69 off MSRP at $24,796 with Jeep Select Terrain System. Go from snow, sand, and mud. 2024 Dodge Hornet RT all-wheel drive, $12,673 off, or $397 a month with a turbocharged 2.0-liter engine standard. One of the most powerful SUVs in its class, or 0% for 72 months is available. 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab with best-in-class payload capacity, now $13,335 off MSRP, or 1.9 for 72 is available. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
7704, MSRP 29765, Hornet R3 A08 452, MSRP 44620, Ram SN 673 402, MSRP 5170, includes all rebates and incentives, PF 895, excludes tax title license, see dealer for complete details, offer valid to end of the month with approved credit, dealer stock only.
It is too. I am not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying that April is just one of the great months to sit outside at Central Barbecue.
I didn't say there weren't other great months to sit outside at Central Barbecue locations.
And there are a lot of them, and they all have outdoor seating.
I don't think you had to interrupt me for that. What I'm saying is April is particularly great because it's the first month where we can sit outside in Memphis.
And South Haven?
Stop interrupting me. I was going to say South Haven.
No, you weren't. You always forget about South Haven.
I resent that.
Hey, I produce these. You want me to back the tape up?
No. It's still the best month to sit outside at Central Barbecue.
Kubota Orange Days are here, so come see them Saturday, April 26th for food, fun, and a lot of Kubota Orange. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and personal RTVs, get your perfect mix. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months on select compact tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com. Kubota Orange Days, Saturday, April 26th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. with Sports 56 and Fat Larry's Barbecue from 11 to 1 at First Choice Farm and Lawn, 701 Highway 64 in East.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 11 to join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa CPC Church. This traffic report on Sports 56 is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Memphis and the Mid-South Pella Windows. The standard is affordable luxury.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Cleanup continues on this crash out here on 55 southbound just past 3rd. That's why it's been slow between Mallory and 3rd on 55 going southbound as they work this accident over here. It's got traffic clogged up pretty good on this side of town as it continues to build down I-40 westbound passing Germantown Parkway down to Sycamore View Road. Weimer's Jewelry is your diamond engagement ring headquarters this bridal season. Go by and see them today at Weimer's Jewelry on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:32 is the time. All right, so we do have a winner for our Humdinger's Trivia question.
That is correct. And Elijah, no tiebreaker needed. You don't have to worry about that. We had somebody that beat everybody else with the correct answer for this one. Actually, take it back. We did have one other tied, but they've won in the last 30 days, so they're disqualified because they just wanted to answer it just to say they answered it. I don't know. The question was, other than LeBron James, among active players, who has the most career playoff rebounds? Elijah, you're pretty good. Do you know this one?
My initial guess was Kevin Durant, but I think that's wrong.
Kevin Durant is wrong. He is second on a lot of leaderboards as far as active players go, though.
I don't know how many playoff games he's played in. Somebody like Jokic.
There's a lot of people that came with Nikola Jokic. That is not correct, though.
Giannis?
Not Giannis either.
So it's got to be somebody who's played a ton more games. Who?
It would be Al Horford.
Wow. Yeah, he's playing a ton more games.
Al Horford has 1,500 career playoff rebounds.
Wow.
He's number 2 on the list. LeBron James, again, number 1, has 2,588. He has over 1,000 more rebounds than any other active player. But you look at the active leaderboards in the playoffs, it's insane. LeBron leads essentially every statistical category there is in postseason play. It's crazy. And the leads he has in them are monumental. It's just like it's just absolutely staggering.
I still can't believe
just the postseason numbers he's put up.
That doesn't surprise me. We know that. I'm surprised it's Al Horford. Elijah, are you surprised it's Al Horford?
I'm not, because he's played almost 200 playoff games, if not that many, and he was a big-time All-Star in Atlanta, so I'm not too
That's
surprised.
right. I forgot even the Atlanta years. But, the last couple of seasons, he's been a backup for Boston. Now, he plays a lot. He's not even a starter. But Al Horford, is Al Horford a Hall of Famer? How many All-Star games has he been in? I mean, with the numbers and the years as he's put together, he's got to have really, really good numbers all around, not just playoff numbers. Al Horford may be a Hall of Famer.
Because the Basketball Hall of Fame includes college.
Gosh, yes, you're right.
That helps him a lot. But from the NBA, probably not enough All-Star game. And I don't know if he's ever. I'm sure
he's a 5-time All-Star.
Has he ever been All-NBA?
One-time All-NBA team, yeah. All-NBA 13,
One-time
2010.
All-NBA, 5 NBA All-Stars, 2 natties at Florida. I don't know. I mean, good chance he might make it, but he's still productive. He really is. Really good player. Okay. One other NBA note, and then I want to move into the Memphis Tigers basketball, the latest portal news as well, and then talk a little NFL draft. Going into the last night's 2 games, there was a record low foul calls throughout the playoff games that have been played up until this point this season, setting a mark for an average of only 18.5 free throws per game. First time in the history of the playoffs, at this point in the playoffs, that the average is under 20 per game. So when I see something like that, which again makes me pile more on NBA officials, to me, something was instructed to them about allowing the games to be played and not blow the whistle as much. Let the guys play. It had to have been instructed by the powers that be that run the officials, the head of the officials, to say, listen, let's slow down on the blowing the whistle and let the guys play. Because how can you have those kind of numbers when you know the physical play has gone up a level in the postseason with so much on the line?
But they definitely call the postseason different than they call the regular season.
Yeah, but it's a record breaking.
And we had in the first couple of days, we had a number of blowouts.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that adds up to it as well.
You're right. 50-point game. We had, 3 20-point games, I think it was. So, I mean, it's
that may
fourth quarters of those games.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But it was like, who was it? Was it somebody? Was it one of the Detroit guys last night when they called the foul on him and he just kept saying, because they were actually making the point on the broadcast, he kept saying, it's playoff basketball. It's playoff basketball. And they said it 5 straight times, the official, like, that's not a playoff foul. Like, that's a regular season foul. That's not a playoff foul.
But I think that is bull crap. And I want to say a different word because it should be the same. You should call a game at the end of the regular season the same as you do in the playoffs. But they don't. I know they don't. And that's another reason why I hate officiating in the National Basketball Association. But your point is well taken about the blowouts. But still, the bottom line is, the fact is that it is a record, the first time under 20 free throws averaged per game through the first how many ever games we've played. This was going into action last night. Okay. Also,
so that's the first game of every series, and we had so 4. I think 4 of those were blowouts.
Yeah, I think the blowouts may have a lot to do with it. I still think, like you said, and you've already admitted it, and it's something we already know, that they're told to put the whistle in their pocket a little bit more, let these guys play. And
they should.
And we know the play is more physical. So it's stupid. So a call during the regular season that it's not even close to being a whistle in the postseason.
You don't want to put superstars in the postseason in foul trouble.
Yeah, but I know it's entertainment, but it's still competition. You want it to be as competitive. Those games obviously added up in the regular season. Look where the Grizzlies are, the position they're in, having to be the 8th seed.
Everything is ramped up in the postseason. You let them get away with a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
You let both teams do it. It's not like it's one team.
No, I'm not saying it. Well, I'm not saying they're favoring one team, but I'm not a big fan of that. Hawks fired GM
so you
Landry
want 50
Fields.
free throws per game, and
I want a foul to be called a foul.
And it is.
A real foul. Not some ticky-tack crap. A real foul, call a foul. Hawks fired GM Landry Fields. They're looking at who was it rumored yesterday that they're looking at, the Hawks? Did you see that story about a possible replacement?
There was Elton Brand. Mentioned.
Elton Brand's name was mentioned. I'm not sure how serious that is. Okay. So
but they promoted one of their in-house guys
already.
I don't remember his name.
Oh, okay. Because I saw the story that he was let go, and then Elton Brand's name had popped up. So Landry Fields, former NBA player, like Elton Brand.
They're searching for a president of basketball operations. So that I think that may be what the Brand thing is.
Okay.
The GM was, I don't know, Ansi Salah. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he was promoted to GM, which was Landry Fields' position. But they're also looking for a president of basketball operations, which I believe is what Elton Brand would be filling.
So here's the latest with Memphis Tigers basketball. First of all, Jeff Goodman had a story yesterday that Ole Miss is a possible destination for P.J. Haggerty. And when the news first broke on Thursday of last week about him going into the portal, a couple of schools were mentioned. Some didn't become public, but Texas, Baylor, some of the teams that names surfaced. Ole Miss is something that makes sense as well. But the demand of $4 million, or that's what the asking price is, to me is ludicrous. I don't see – I know that – what is Toppin reportedly going to make?
$4 million.
Yeah, which is just nuts. But people want to know why these quarterbacks are not making that type of money. Some are. I guess Beck at Miami, isn't that 4.5 that he's making? But a lot of times it's less, and that's simply because of the numbers game, right? I mean, football, you got to fill a lot of positions, a lot of very important positions, quarterback being the most important. That's a lot of money you got to spend, whereas with basketball players, you can dump a lot of money on 2 or 3 players, and you all of a sudden have a Sweet 16 team. So I think it's the numbers game. But as far as that is concerned, as far as Haggerty, I could be wrong. I don't see $4 million in his future for this upcoming season, and I don't see NBA first round. So he's going to be somewhere. He's going to be paid handsomely. Maybe he'll get 4. I don't think he will, but it's not going to be Memphis. It's just they are out of the running when it comes to that kind of money, if that's what he's going to be getting offers in that range. Now, in the meantime,
speaking of Ole Miss basketball, there was a report yesterday that they will play St. John's.
Yeah, saw that.
At Madison Square Garden this season. So that'd be a nice premier game for them.
Just a one-off, right? Not part of a tournament, not part of any event?
Yeah, no, it's just, and I don't know if that's a
home and
home situation or what. There was just the report that they're going to play at Madison Square Garden this year.
Okay, so in the meantime now, Memphis is pushing ahead. And yes, they continue to wait, and from what I've heard, money's aside for Danger if he gets the waiver. So Danger's still in play if he gets the waiver. But they're looking pretty decent with Aaron Bradshaw, who is the former Buckeye who I think last season, did he start with Ohio State, Elijah, and then go to Kentucky, or Kentucky and then Ohio State?
It was Kentucky. Then Ohio State.
Okay. So he's a 7'1" center. Not a huge scorer, but a defender. He can score. I think he's got a little bit more offensive skills than Cisse. But Aaron Bradshaw's a guy who may end up at Memphis. And then Doug McDaniel, I think his visit continues today. He's the Kansas State point guard. and he is a scorer and a facilitator, although not a big guy at 5'11". So that's a guy I think they may end up landing with Haggerty probably out of the mix. McDaniel's a true point guard, and I know Haggerty, from everything I read, the story was that he wants to play more point, even though he's a better combo. He doesn't have great handles. So I think the thought is maybe I can become better with the ball, and that makes me more valuable in the NBA, because he's not the greatest ball handler, but McDaniel is, and he's a point guard. And so that's another guy I think Memphis is absolutely on the trail of trying to get. They got a couple of other guys that are going to be in. Still probably 4 scholarships, I think. I could be wrong with that number, but somewhere around that point. They have a lot to still add to that team. That team right now is not much on paper, but you put all these guys together, if they can get all these guys that they're trying to nail down now that they have that money available without Haggerty, it could be pretty good. And one other note as far as the transfer portal is concerned, Chandler Jackson to Arkansas State. Played at Christian Brothers High School and played last year at Florida State. I thought maybe that's somebody that might be in Penny's grasp, but I'm not sure how he thought of him when he was at Christian Brothers and if he pursued him at that point. But he's headed to Arkansas State. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, I want to talk some NFL mock draft with the real draft starting on Thursday. A little bit more on the whole Joey Aguilar to Tennessee, Nico to UCLA situation. At 9:05, Austin Chin's going to join us to talk some golf. We got a lot more to get to here on the program. We'll continue to take your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. Hour 2 of the program brought to you each and every day by James Gaddis Jewelers, your family's jeweler. The beautiful new diamonds from Antwerp are in, and they are ready for your purchase. At least go over there and check them out if you're planning on asking that big question coming up in the fall, in the summer, maybe in the spring, maybe in the next month or so, and that's, will you marry me? You want to have that beautiful engagement ring, and they have all types of different diamond engagement rings, wedding rings, personally designed wedding sets, and all your other jewelry needs. If you're looking for something special for a birthday, for an anniversary present, for a graduation present, they got watches and rings and bracelets and necklaces and all kinds of pendants, one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry, and they're always adding to their collection. They are full-service jewelers with 2 bench jewelers ready to serve you daily. All their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They understand there's a lot of competition, so they want to make sure they have a price point to suit everyone's budget. And before too long, it'll be Mother's Day, so think mom, and when you're thinking mom, think jewelry. From James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. On the web at GaddisJewelers.com. They're open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, Saturday, 10 to 4, closed on Sunday. James Gaddis Jewelers. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
What happens to former real estate agents when they want to sell their homes? This is Sheldon Rosenberg, actually Sheldon, with Mark Mansfield Realtors. I am so proud and feel so honored that former real estate agents contact me when they want to sell their homes. They know that I've been in the business for quite a while, have a great deal of experience, and know that I am good at marketing, not merely putting a sign in the yard and looking at sales. Over the years, I have developed a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. Talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure that I am one of them. So if you or somebody you know is thinking about selling a home, remember what other real estate agents have been in business doing. Then call me, Sheldon Rosenberg, at 483-0546, or email me at memphisrelocate.com. I will wait to hear from you and take advantage of this good market. That's 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Thank you.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its community and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Spring is really one of the best times of year for sports and visiting Bell Tavern, Memphis' perfect downtown neighborhood bar. The Bell Tavern is a sports bar, but with the beginning of baseball, the stretch run for the Grizzlies, and everything else that's going on, there is simply no better place to be than Bell Tavern. One thing people say all the time is that they have made more friends at Bell Tavern than they have at any other bar, and that's because Bell Tavern is a grown-up bar where people treat one another with respect, and that's how you make friends. You go to a friendly place and find out what you have in common, like, say, Bell Tavern.
The Grizzlies are in the playoffs, and that's good news for Sports 56 listeners. Sports 56 and 88.5 FM will be giving away $98.50 today for as long as the Grizzlies stay alive. That's right. Each weekday, one of our shows will be putting cash in someone's pocket. More Grizzlies wins means more cash. So cheer on the Grizzlies and stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM for your chance to win. The Grizzlies playoff is brought to you by Coca-Cola and Memphis Molding Company.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
NFL draft begins on Thursday with round 1. I've heard that the weather could be really nasty in Green Bay, Lambeau Field, for Thursday's opening round.
It'd be pretty shocking to get bad weather in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Wonder how that would possibly happen.
Joe DeLeon's going to join us at 9:05
San
to break down
Diego,
the draft.
Green Bay, usually I thought were you could count on the weather being perfect every day.
I like how they are going to different sites. I do enjoy that, but yes, you are always chancing it. So I'm looking at, this is one of many mock drafts. This is Yahoo Sports, and they have their final mock draft. And I notice, and I had to look at this 5 different times to make sure I'm not overlooking anything. They do not have Shedeur Sanders going in the first round.
Man, I tell you what, Shedeur Sanders, I can't wait for the draft to get done so I can
stop talking about him.
Hearing about Shedeur Sanders, he has been broken down in every way imaginable. Some people think he's going in the top 3. Other people think he's going in the 3rd round. I'm sure there's been other cases, but it just is unbelievable how much talk there is about Shedeur Sanders and where he might end up.
Yeah, I mean, look, this isn't a Bronny James situation. You know, he happens to be the son of a famous Hall of Fame former player who's a coach with Colorado and a known entity. I mean, Shedeur is a good quarterback. I mean, he's a capable quarterback, and who knows, maybe he'll be really good at the next level. But, yeah, it's very interesting because some people love him, other people don't. He's kind of polarizing. Cam Ward, number 1 to Tennessee, to the Titans. Okay, that one's in place. This particular mock that I'm looking at, Jackson Dart, number 9 to Ole Miss. And then
he's going to Ole Miss?
Sorry, to New Orleans from Ole Miss. Then
Saints have had an Ole Miss quarterback before.
I've heard. And then number 21, the Pittsburgh Steelers, not Shedeur Sanders, but Jalen Milroe. And that's it. 3 quarterbacks in this mock that I'm looking at, one of many, as I said, and does not include Shedeur Sanders. Jalen Milroe. You think Shedeur's interesting? Okay. I saw a story where they say Jalen Milroe is the best running quarterback they've ever seen. Okay. There's a guy named Lamar Jackson, but, just for the sake of this discussion. You saw Jalen Milroe at Alabama, right? And you saw good things, and you saw a lot of bad things. And he can get much better, but he's going to the next level where you make one little mistake, and they're going to burn you. And they're all great players that are defending you. Not some are great players, and some are very good players. But in college, some were average players. And I don't like what I saw from Milroe this past year. Decisions he made, mistakes he made. Yeah, he's a hell of an athlete. But I don't know about that. I don't know about Milroe first round. There are some people who say that really, other than Ward, nobody should be a first-round pick if they're a quarterback, that you maybe can get a little quality in the second or third round. But we know that teams panic when it comes to quarterbacks. There's also the possibility that the Giants could trade back in for another pick. They're not going to take a quarterback. That's why all that talk about, they still may take a quarterback, that was a bunch of BS. You get Russell Wilson, and then you get Jameis Winston. Come on. You're not taking a quarterback number 3. I'll be shocked if they do. If they do, they should fire that guy on the spot. Was it Schoen? What's his GM? Shane. Abdul Carter's the pick. Because Travis Hunter, I don't think Cleveland will screw it up. He's going 2. Abdul Carter 3. That I think it's pretty set if you want to lay down your bet. But in this, again, one mock I'm looking at, 3 Ole Miss players. Walter Nolan going to Minnesota, 24th. Trey Amos going to the L.A. Rams, 26th. And Ashton Genty, by the way, going number 5 to Jacksonville. We talked about the Bears running game and the Cowboys and a couple other teams. I haven't heard much about Jacksonville, and now that seems to be a possibility.
Yeah, that's a new one that's kind of popped up here recently of the people thinking that the Jacksonville will take him before he gets to the Raiders at 6 there. I don't know. Certainly Jacksonville has needs. I wouldn't think they would go running back there, but I guess if they really like Ashton Genty, then maybe they will.
Number 4, by the way, Will Campbell, the big offensive tackle for LSU, going to the Patriots. Some other notes here. Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State. He seems to be a hot name right now, going to the Jets. The Jets had a workout with him, I think, yesterday.
He's a stud. I love that dude.
Beast. We'll see. Again, we'll talk more about this tomorrow when Joe DeLeon, who does this for a living, he'll join us, and we'll get his thoughts on it. I don't know. I think Shedeur will still be a first-round pick. Somebody will make a move. But most of these guys at quarterback don't have first-round grades, except for Cam Ward. And I think Tennessee made up their mind pretty early as far as that one is concerned. We mentioned the news from yesterday. Joey Aguilar going to Tennessee from UCLA. 6,760 yards and 56 touchdowns in his 2 years at Appalachian State. That's what you call production.
More impressively, $200,000 in his 2 months at UCLA. That's production.
Again, I don't get it, man, but
I guess it's more than 2 months. I don't remember. I'm not sure exactly when he got to UCLA or committed to UCLA, whatever. But nonetheless, pretty impressive production.
Hey, it's not his fault, right? He was forced to make this move. He was very happy to be right there at UCLA until they went out and got Nico. So now he's going to Tennessee. You know, all the talk about Tennessee, and what's the guy's name? The backup right now who's in position to be the starter if they didn't pick up anybody?
Merklinger.
Yeah, Merklinger. What's that say about him? He's not ready. That's what it tells me.
Says at least they want competition for the job.
Yeah, they may want competition, but it tells me they're going with a veteran. And that's the thing right now. That's what the moves are. Look at Memphis. They got a really good quarterback in Antoine Hill that they like a lot, and then they went out and they got Lewis because he brings experience. And you're hoping that young players will stay, whatever program they're at, and get that experience behind somebody and then be ready to take over. Easier said than done. But the move is to go out and get a veteran. And that's exactly what Tennessee did. So it makes sense. They were going to get somebody, and it ends up being Aguilar. And then there was the news yesterday that Madden Iamaleava, the brother of Nico, is heading out to join his brother at UCLA, leaving Arkansas. I don't know what the plans were at Arkansas for him. Do you have any idea?
I mean, he was originally committed to UCLA anyway, so.
Right. But he wasn't going to be the Arkansas starter, right?
I would doubt that, no.
I don't even know who the Arkansas starter is right now. I think about it. But anyway, he's on his way to UCLA as well. Well, hey, everybody, want to know where all the Chevys are, where all the deals are? They're in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. Save thousands on your new Silverado truck. Financing as low as 2.9 for 72 months. New 2500 HD has financing as low as 3.9. No payments for 90 days. Nothing beats having no payments for the rest of the spring into the summer. And your good credit deserves it. If you're in law enforcement, first responder, you're a healthcare worker, military, and we thank our military. You're a teacher, a recent graduate, you get an extra $500 bonus on top of every other deal you get. All-Star is all the late model pre-owned you're looking for. Everything from the Camaro to the Equinox, the Tahoe to the Suburban, and tons of Silverados on the lot. If you have any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Get the most money back for it today. Everyone at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch asked me to wish you and your families a very happy Easter month. So together, let's drive. Check out all these great vehicles online at allstarautogroup.com. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgess. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous? Well, there's some things about the Rendezvous I'm going to talk about. For example, we make it really easy to park. We have valet parking right at Monroe Street in our alley. We also want to make it easy for people to get to doors. You can now park in our alley right at our front door and put your flashers on. People also forget that we take reservations for 6 or more. And we have a wonderful party room upstairs that can accommodate people for rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, reunions, graduations. Our rooms seat between 25 and 275 people. And everything at the Rendezvous can be packed to go. But we also do catering. See our menu online, and we can even deliver for groups of 15 or more. So if you have any questions, always feel free to call us at the Rendezvous because we answer our phone ourselves. You'll never hear. Please listen carefully for our menu listing. Press 1 for reservations, press 2 for hours, press 3 for catering, or if you know your party's 9-digit extension number and the first 3 letters of their mother's maiden name, dial it back. Come see us at the Rendezvous. Since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me early on, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home in Town Village. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342.
There's no place like home, Town Village.
Construction Microwave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed business photos and sell contact info. Inspect online or in person with our no reserve policy. Every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals, your next great purchase awaits.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Elwood Shack in the Lowe's parking lot on Summer just keeps getting bigger and better. Bigger because now there's a second Elwood Shack at 4040 Park across from the University of Memphis. And better because you can get breakfast every day at both Elwoods. There's the barbecue breakfast burrito, either beef brisket or pork shoulder, and pancake biscuits made fresh daily. Real house-made pancakes, apple and bacon, French toast, and more. And the new Elwood's even has a real coffee bar serving fresh roasted J. Brooks coffee. Elwood Shack, now with 2 locations and open every day for you.
Online radio show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Nancy Porter with 24/7 Sports. Your Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC sports flow, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Garvey from kickoff to first throw to extra innings. Your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yellow Hotline show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South sports station.
This traffic brought to you by Brinson Tax Service. They protect you like family.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still running a little bit slow. Here's a clean up this wreck on 55 southbound there at 3rd. We've seen several people get frustrated and turn around and go the wrong way. Again, that's 55 southbound at 3rd, trying to clean up this accident out here as traffic continues to build down I-40 westbound from Germantown Parkway down to Sycamore View Road. Dandelions, crabgrass, Lawn Solutions says none of that's a problem. They'll make your yard look really good. Call Lawn Solutions today at 867-5626. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis, with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Sports.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:05 the time. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Mornings, the Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Elijah Seegers. We are live and local, broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently 65 degrees, going to heat up to 82 today, mostly sunshine. A little bit of clouds, and tonight generally clear skies at 62 degrees. Hour 3 of the program is brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More, located at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. An easy drive from anywhere in the metropolitan Memphis area. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, plus ceramic and porcelain tiles, SPC and WPC vinyls, backsplashes, plantation shutters and blinds, and so much more. They also have stores in Cleveland, Mississippi, and Little Rock, Arkansas. This is a family-owned and operated business. They sell at wholesale. Skip the middleman, save you lots of money in the process. For all you do-it-yourself homeowners, for contractors out there, it just makes sense to get great material at a great cost from Jenkins. But also, if you need Jenkins to take care of the job for you, they can lay down that tile, they can lay down the carpeting, put the flooring down, and they'll do it in 2 weeks. That's their promise to you. So they'll come to you wherever you are, give you a free estimate, and get the job done in 2 weeks. You cannot beat that. Give them a call. Tell them you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. You're going to get that Sports 56 family discount. And also, for all you military and first responders, you get 10% off your total bill every time you head to Jenkins Floors and More. They're open Monday through Saturday, closed Sunday. Call them at 662-469-9350 or go visit them at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. It's Jenkins Floors and More. Time now to talk some golf. Well, today it is a friend of Mickey and a friend of ours and a friend of many people. He is Austin Chin, the player development coordinator for the City of Memphis Golf, in charge of all competitions. And he is joining us. Mickey and both Austin and Mickey are involved in a tournament at Chickasaw. But Austin, I guess you got the short straw because your tee time is a little bit later on. How are you?
Hey, good morning. I'm well. How's everyone?
Doing fantastic. So Mickey's got a tee time right now, I guess. And your tee time in this tournament is when?
I go off at 10:10. I didn't play good enough to play late. But I just watched Mickey tee off. I'm coming to you live from Chickasaw Country Club right this moment. And Mickey is on number one green, probably putting for a solid birdie, per usual.
So we're getting play-by-play from Austin.
Yeah, we're going to do my best Jim Nance today.
Hello, friends.
Wait a minute. If you say you didn't play well enough to play late, and he's playing before you, so you played,
That's right.
You played better than him.
Well, we're in different divisions. So Mickey's
okay.
in the senior division because he's over 50.
Okay.
And I am yet to break that mark in my life.
Yeah, what are you, like 25 now? How old are you?
Close to it. Close to it. I just turned 40 last year.
Wow, congratulations. All right, so look, you're preparing for your round. What is the tournament, by the way, over at Chickasaw you guys are playing in?
So this tournament is called the Classic. It is put on by the Tennessee PGA. It is open to all Tennessee amateurs and golf professionals. So it's a 36-hole tournament, stroke play, and today we are playing the ball up because we got probably an inch of rain previous night. So the course is a little soft, but it is just a 36-hole championship, and we do payouts for regular division, senior division, professionals, and amateurs.
So what did you shoot yesterday?
You know, there are blowouts in sports, like OKC and the Grizz the other night. Unfortunately, I felt like the Grizzlies yesterday, and I'm hitting through a bunch of Chet Holmgrens, the trees down the fairways, and I believe I hit a baker's dozen of Chet Holmgrens on the golf course.
Described well. They got some big trees at Chickasaw.
Yeah, the trees out there, they are definitely Chet Holmgrens. There's some Victor Wembanyama's and Zach Edey's.
Yeah.
They got them all out there.
Well,
and I'm hitting through them. I'm hitting around them, under them, and it was very colorful.
It is. That's a good analogy, comparing it to the Grizzlies. Austin Jen's joining us from Chickasaw Country Club on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. All right, Austin. So you mentioned this is a tournament with the Tennessee PGA. Because of your job and putting together all these tournaments, all these competitions that we have that are affiliated with the city of Memphis and City Golf, do you work hand in hand with the PGA, or is it completely separate, the Tennessee PGA?
It is completely separate, but I enjoy playing these events because they give me new ideas on how to run, championship level events at our chapter level. So I take things that they do from the state and I bring it to Memphis and do my best to provide our citizens, our players, with really well-organized, well-run golf tournaments.
How many tournaments do you run a year?
I think we'll have 14 on our calendar this year, and it starts this Saturday at Fox Meadows. We'll do our Mayor's Cup qualifier, and our Mayor's Cup is our season-long match play event where we take the low 32 and...
Well,
Let's put Austin on hold, see if we can get that figured out.
Chickasaw Country Club's like Augusta National. They do not want you talking on phones out there.
I'm surprised he was able to get one in past security.
Came and intercepted the signal right there.
So the event he's talking about, the Mayor's Cup, is one that Mickey has talked to us about here the last couple of weeks. So I'm not, I don't remember exactly all those details. We'll get that from Austin. And then I want to talk to Austin also about, not only does he have these tournaments that he's responsible for, what do you say, 14? About 14 of them
on their calendar.
But also weekly golf clinics. He does lessons as well. So he is extremely busy in this great game of golf. Again, Austin Chin pinch hitting for Mickey Barker, who's off and rolling in his second or third round, I guess second round, over at Chickasaw Country Club. And Mickey joins us each and every week to talk golf. In the meantime, as we are talking golf, the RBC Heritage last weekend won by Justin Thomas. So a couple of popular wins back-to-back, Eli, when you turn around and you have Rory McIlroy getting it done at the Masters and then Justin Thomas winning at the Heritage.
Yeah, two of the most popular guys on tour, obviously. And we're trying to get Austin back here. But, yeah, I mean, it's two of the biggest names, two of the most popular, two of the guys who have been very outspoken in support of the tour through the Live drama originally. So, they're certainly very popular wins on tour. And, again, for Justin Thomas, ending that long drought of his and kind of being the pinnacle of getting his game back in order, certainly had to feel good.
All right, we'll give it another minute or so, but who knows what happened there with his cell reception out at Chickasaw. That's Austin Chin. He is the player development coordinator for the city of Memphis. We got him back on? All right, I think we got Austin. So, Austin, did security come after you because you have a cell phone out there? What's the deal? Were you wrestled to the ground?
I feel like I'm back at the Masters and no cell phone policy.
I mean, whatever it was, we got it straightened out. We appreciate it. Thank you. You were talking.
The good news is why you were off there. I had a chance to look up your score from yesterday, but I won't mention it.
Oh boy.
I did see my boy Matt Cooper's at the top 10 though. It's good.
Surprising Cooper's there. All right, so you were talking about the Mayor's Cup qualifier. Give us the details again for that.
Yeah, so we will take our low 32 qualifiers on Saturday, and we will put them into a match play bracket. So our automatic qualifiers this year are Tucker Fox. He was our champion last year, and we'll have our runner-up as the number 2 seed this year. And, I'm trying my best to give as many automatic spots as possible so people feel like they earned a spot into this year.
Did you say Tucker Fox?
I did.
Does he have a relationship with Fox Meadows? Is it his course?
You know what? If he can play well, he can own it.
And people can still sign up to get into that?
Yes. Tomorrow is our deadline. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So if people want to sign up, they can go to memphispubliclinks.com and go to our schedule of events, and that will take them to our schedule of events for the whole year, and they can click on their Golf Genius, log in, and sign up for all of our events there.
And Austin, is that for every single thing also, just to get a tee time at one of the city courses, that's the same site you go to?
That's right. Everything that we do is online, so it makes it pretty easy for all the players to do it from their phone if they're busy, because no one really likes to call in anymore.
I don't know. I still like talking to people.
I'm with you, Austin. Do it online or via text. Don't have to talk to people.
Yeah. People kind of make it difficult some days, but doing it from the phone, doing it through the website makes it real easy.
Also, you guys have weekly golf clinics, Saturdays through May and June. Tell everybody about that because there may be some interest from our listeners out there.
So now that we have a driving range at Audubon, we are trying to ramp up our instruction just to further enhance the amenities that we have with the city. And every Saturday from, I think, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, we're going to offer different ways to learn golf. So we're, 1 week we're going to do putting, next week we'll do chipping, and then work on our iron game and our driver game. And we'll do a series of those throughout the year. So you can dabble in learning something new every week. And we'll have different instructors out there every week. Hannah Underhill is our manager, or assistant manager at Audubon, and she is going to be out there weekly, and then we'll have different instructors joining her every week.
And can people just show up for those? You just sign up? How do they get involved?
We have a website, and it is free to log in. It costs $20 once you realize what week you want to sign up for. So we try and make it pretty affordable. You'll get instruction, you'll get range balls, you'll get maybe some drinks or beverages during the clinic, all for $20 a week.
Wow. Okay. That is a great deal. What else do we need to throw out there to our listeners as far as City Golf is concerned?
I think this year is going to be a really good year for us. With Audubon opening, that really brings a gem to the variety of courses that we have. And if you haven't played it, I challenge you to do it. From the back tees, it's just over 7,000 yards. And Bill Bergen did a tremendous job.
He did.
With this design. It's open, it's friendly for junior golfers, it's friendly for senior golfers. It's difficult enough for the really advanced golfers, playing it all the way back. He just did a really good job of taking what we needed and giving it us a championship golf course.
And as I said, now having that driving range is huge as well. Right there in the middle of East Memphis, to have a driving range for people is great.
And that range, if you go between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock after work, it is jam-packed. I was given lessons till about 6 the other night, and there were people waiting on days to hit. So it was really good to see that much support and the amount of golfers that we have that really want to use that.
Is there any room to extend it even more, or is that pretty much done?
I think for right now it's pretty done. There are future plans to add top tracer on the range.
Wow.
I don't know how many bays we'll get, but we'll have to do another mini construction just to get more concrete, provide some shade, and get the cameras out there to give you real time numbers and give you more data based on every shot that you hit.
Yeah, you think about it, unless you're a member of a country club, there's not a lot of options in Memphis and in East Memphis as far as going out there and hitting balls. I mean, you go down to Summer Avenue and to the putt-putt, and that's a little bit of a haul. And then other places that they have around the Memphis area, but not a ton. So this gives a lot of people the opportunity to go out there and, people come out and they'll maybe work on their putting a little bit over at Galloway or things like that. But as far as the range is concerned, this is really the only one that I could think of, correct?
Yes. We have, there's one on Summer, there's Vantage Point further east.
Right.
But as far as something in the middle of the city, you can't really beat it. And the size of it, we can fit a lot of people on this range. And we just ask you not to hit over the net into the Botanic Garden. You got to have, friendly neighbors with it, right?
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
for sure.
All right, Austin, listen, we thank you for pinch hitting. Go out there, shoot a low round today. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, it sounds great. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Austin. Austin Chin, he's the player development coordinator for the City of Memphis Golf, and he's in charge of all the competitions, all the tournaments that we talk about. He puts them together, does a great job under the leadership of our good friend Mickey Barker, who's playing in the event and will return to us in studio next week. In the meantime, we'll take a timeout, come back with more. Calls and texts are available as we have some open lines. Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines available to you. Open segment coming up as well. We'll get back into the Grizzlies tonight. Can they find a way to be competitive, let alone win a game at Oklahoma City and even the series up? We'll talk about that when we return. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Welcome to Fat Larry's in Bartlett. Come in today for award-winning barbecue and so much more. Catfish, steak burgers, certified Mount Angus beef steaks, along with all the sides, homemade rolls, delicious desserts, beer, and service that is out of this world. Fat Larry's cooks everything made to order just for you. Dine in or order online at fatlarrys.com. We're the best barbecue, Southern cooking, and friendly atmosphere in town. Family owned and proud of it. Fat Larry's, conveniently located at 7537 Highway 70, just west of Appling. Sunrise locations, all financing on approved credit.
Playoff basketball is on fire, and so is your shot at winning 98.50 with Real Sports Talk 56, powered by Club Car Wash. They're your MVP for a next-level clean, with 3 locations in the Memphis area: Hidwell Road, Hickory Hill, and Bartlett, and a brand-new location coming soon to Horn Lake, Mississippi. It's never been easier to keep your car looking like a winner.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom-made solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
It's time to get your Kia on at Gossett Kia on the Pike. How about a new ride for under $6 a day? 2025 Kia K4 LXS. We Gossett $159 a month. 2025 Kia Sportage GX. We Gossett $269 a month. And get more power, larger cargo area than Nissan Pathfinder in your new 2025 Kia Telluride S. We Gossett $398 a month. All $49.99 new signing, 24-month lease, and they're all equipped with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Go see Bobby J. He's waiting to put you in your new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike. All online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Acquisition fee, 20,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 12,000 miles per year, $49.99 due at signing. Must finance through KFA, K4, SEO 87349, MSRP 25320, Sportage S719 2005, MSRP 30,660, Telluride SG 596 MSRP 41060. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. Dealer stock only. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/2/25.
This traffic report brought to you by Triangle Meat Company, feeding Memphis since 1967. Open 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, 4790 Summer Avenue. Trust Triangle Meat Company.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. It's been a little bit slow out here from the earlier crash on 55 southbound at 3rd. We're hoping that'll start to recover here in a few minutes as it builds now going northbound on 240 at Lamar, trying to get up through the Midtown area. Certain sections out here of Sam Cooper got a little bit busy, especially coming inbound. Weimer's Jewelry is your diamond engagement ring headquarters this coming bridal season. Go by and see them today at Weimer's Jewelry out there on Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This hour brought to you by James once again, Greg
They just announced that the 2026 college football opener will take place, as it's been here recently, in Ireland, and it will be North Carolina versus TCU. So my question to you, Eli, is, will Bill Belichick still be the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels for the start of the 26 season?
We shall see.
That's it. I'm not going to get a guess. 901-360-8255 is the phone number to call. Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines are open, talking about a number of different topics, but the number one topic and the number one thing on everybody's mind is the Grizzlies tonight in Oklahoma City. After that 51-point debacle, what will we see tonight? Will we see a great effort from the team? Again, I don't know if anybody's going to pick them to pull off a major upset, but love to hear your thoughts on the Grizzlies. Hit us up again on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines like Carlo has. Carlo, how are you?
Good morning, Greg and Eli. How you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, but you know what's going to make me feel even better? We need the Memphis Grizzlies to play like the grit and grind Grizzlies. We need this W tonight. The Thunder, they put the Thunder in Lightning on the last game, but this game, we need some of that grit and grind. I think we can do it. We can put off a shocker. I think we're going to be like Muhammad Ali, and we're going to shock the world. I say the Grizzlies win tonight. I need everybody to put the Memphis Grizzlies hat on, your T-shirts on, your Memphis Tiger shirts and everything. We need all the Memphis support, and I just want to say, go Grizzlies!
Thank you, Carlo. Appreciate that.
Why are we putting the Tigers shirts on for the Grizzlies? He just got carried away, I guess.
I don't know. I didn't know he was a Grizzlies fan like he is a Memphis Tigers fan.
Just everything Memphis.
I always thought it was Carlos.
Me too.
We've been calling him Carlos forever. It's Carlo?
Apparently.
And it's a good reference for people because people think Muhammad Ali. Wait, Muhammad Ali, the greatest? He was a favorite in just about every fight. No, the upset of Sonny Liston, which got him started. And I'm sure that's what he's referring to, that win in Lewiston, Maine that did shock the world. But, yeah, if the Grizzlies win tonight, I think it would be shocking the world. Dan is next, wants to talk a little Memphis basketball. Hi, Dan.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you.
Listen, my comment is that I just enjoy y'all's show.
Thank you.
And you guys are great. You guys are topical. You're funny. You and Eli are like the odd couple, which makes it even better. I mean, you got one. Eli's the voice of reason, and Greg guarantees everything. So I grown up with you, Greg. I moved here from Chicago in '77.
Oh wow, okay.
I've listened to you on TV and radio, and Eli. Both of you guys love your show, and you guys bring a lot to the table, and
Thanks,
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You as well. Appreciate that. All right. I thought he wanted to talk about a particular topic, but thank you for the compliments. Really appreciate that. 360-8255. That's 901-360-8255 if you want to follow up Dan on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines. Again,
Dan's trying to angle for a $98.50 win, I think. If he calls in and butters us up, maybe we'll just give him money. But no, that does not work. But anytime, Dan, you want to call in and just say nice things, that's great. We appreciate that all of the time. By the way, again.
Yeah, you don't have to be buttering us up to win.
$98.50 at some point today. Somebody will win once again. We had a winner yesterday here on our show, but on one of our shows every day. Again, we know it at least will go through this week because the Grizzlies, the earliest they could possibly be eliminated would be on Saturday. So 4 more winners this week coming up on one show or the other. Check it out and keep on listening and get your opportunity to win. It's brought to you by Club Car Wash. You can get 25% off any membership for 12 months right now at clubcarwash.com. Also, Memphis Mold Inspector, the only licensed mold assessor in the Mid-South. And again, we'll be giving away $98.50 daily while the Grizzlies remain alive in the postseason.
So yesterday on the show, obviously we were talking a lot about what happened with the Grizzlies and Oklahoma City in Game 1. And my reaction, other people's reaction, this isn't off the cuff because they lost by 51 points that I say that there needs to be some serious moves made in the offseason. It's not because they lost by 51. I'm looking at the total picture. I know because I've been here and have seen it, what these guys have done, what they've accomplished. I know that the big three, and I hate to call them the big three because they're not playing like the big three, but I know that they have had injuries and there's only 20 games that they played together or thereabouts. But that's also part of it as well, your availability on the court. When I say that things need to change. Now, again, they turn around tonight and lose by 10. I'm not going to change my mind. My mind's made up, so I'm not throwing it out there to ignite something. I'm throwing it out there because that's the way I feel. When I say something, I really believe it. You know, people think like I go opposite of Eli or Eli goes opposite of me on purpose. That does not happen. We clearly disagree on a lot of different things. And to me, I have seen the future, and the future is not resulting in a Western Conference championship and a trip to the NBA Finals with what they have. They have to make moves. But there are some people, Eli, that believe if they play competitively the next 3 games, still get swept 4-0, that's a lot different way to look at things than it would be if they get clobbered all 4 games. I think the writing's on the wall.
Absolutely, I would agree with that.
So, again...
If you get beat by 50 every game, that's a lot different than...
But if you lose and you get swept by Oklahoma City, they're not going anywhere. Oklahoma City is young and talented. So, to me, if you're not willing to make moves, and even if that move is to trade one of your guys of quality, let's just say that, try not to use that big 3 anymore, then what are you in it for? You're in it to win it. You're in it to get to the Western Conference Finals. You're in it to win the Western Conference and to get to the NBA Finals. You're in it to win the NBA Championship. And if you can't come close to beating one of the teams in the West, how do you expect to be better than them eventually down the road? How's it going to happen? People keep thinking, well, the more the 3 play together, what are you saying? First of all, Ja gets hurt. He's always going to get hurt at some time. When he plays, he's spectacular. What are you seeing from Jackson? Yeah, he's a really good player at times, especially during the regular season. What is he doing now? Dez, really good player. Hot and cold, not consistent. See, when you have guys like Kawhi Leonard, these are superstars. These are prime-time players that it doesn't matter that they missed a bunch of games because they're always there, ready to go in the postseason. They're always...
What? Kawhi has not been there hasn't hardly been there in the postseason.
All right, bad example.
That's
I knew
the
it when I
dumbest
said
example
it.
you could give.
I knew it. I knew it when I said it. But, there are guys that are consistent every time. Giannis, I know he's had some injuries, but he's pretty healthy. Jokic is there every single time. You may not love him. You may not love him, but James Harden is a guy as well who certainly is a consistent player for whatever franchise he's at. These players are there each and every time when it comes to the postseason. And now you have the 3 together. You have these guys. And the first game, the first result was a 51-point loss. This is a very important game, certainly. But to me, it doesn't change my idea that they don't have all the pieces they need to make a legitimate run. And a 10-point loss or a 5-point loss isn't going to change that. I want to see the pride in these players, the pride in this team, to go out there and compete for 48 minutes, not wave the white flag. That's what I want to see. But my mind's already been made up that you have to make a move. It may not be trading one of the 3, but you have to do something. And remember, free agents, first of all, I don't know what you can afford once you pay Jackson his money in the offseason. What are you going to... You're going to pay Aldama and everything's going to be fine? I mean, Aldama has his own issues defensively. You have to go out and make moves if you are to be a legitimately competitive team in the West. And if people don't see that, I don't know what you're looking at. So, yeah, it doesn't make a difference to me how the series pans out as far as how many points they lose a game by.
Well, again, I would disagree with that. There's a big difference between if they go down to the wire in the next 3 games and lose all 3 of them, or they lose by 30 in the next 3 games. That's a completely different thing.
So you would not make any kind of move running back?
I've never said that at all.
Okay, well, that's what I'm talking about.
Deadline, I wanted them to go get Kenny Johnson. Yes,
that's what I want to hear.
I believe, and that's. But it's
we're
not
on the
easy.
Same page.
It's also not easy to make moves.
Not easy.
So
I understand that. But we're on the same page. That's what I want to know is we're on the same page, that you see in the crystal ball that they need more or something different. They need to add. They need to change. There is something that you agree with me on that, right? We're on the same page when it comes to that. You can't run it back the way it is. You can't turn around the offseason and Zach Kleiman goes, well, Jackson's going to be in the fold. And then we're going to give Santi Aldama his deal. And then, we'll tweak here or there. And I'm not saying that's what he's going to say. But there's no way. And again,
I would say that's the most likely that would happen.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
And I think,
and Eastwell will be the coach. I mean, that's going to happen.
I think this team, I still believe this team is capable of competing at the top of the West.
This team
with
lost.
The current Oklahoma City team at fully healthy, the Grizzlies, they're just better than the Grizzlies. But again, I think they're way better than everybody in the West. So before, I think they
lost to every team in their season series.
Oklahoma City in a tier by themselves. Then there's a group of basically 7 teams in the next tier in the West, and then there's the rest of the West below that. I just think Oklahoma City, but Oklahoma City in a couple of years, like right now, they're paying Jalen Williams basically nothing. They'll have to start making decisions when everybody starts coming up for contracts. They're not going to be able to pay everybody a bunch of money. Like they'll have to make decisions. Guys will leave. Things will happen. So it happens to everybody. But right now, with the way they've got it set up, Oklahoma City is in a great position for the next couple of years at least.
Every team in the Western Conference playoffs, the Grizzlies got manhandled during the regular season by every one of them with the exception of Minnesota. And we know when they had the hugely important game against Minnesota, the Grizzlies lost. That's the only one they beat, 2 out of 3? Every other one they lost. So I can't assume that if Memphis had played Houston or Denver or the Clippers or the Lakers, they would have been more competitive and certainly had, I think, an opportunity. But nothing would tell me that they absolutely would win any of those series. They lost the season series to every single one of those teams with the exception of Minnesota. And again, when the game was really, really pivotal down the stretch, they lost that game. Because that game is when you step up. And right now, your big three has to step up. And that was I don't even care that they lost by, I don't want to make it numbers, right? You lose by 25, 30, whatever, and you actually played competitively and tried, and they were just making everything, and you couldn't find the ocean from the pier, that's fine. I mean, it's not great, but I understand that. But once Oklahoma City started to roll, very late in the first, but really in the second quarter, and then they opened it up again in the third quarter, they stopped playing. They stopped competing. They stopped getting back on defense. Brevin made the point, he was on with us earlier, that they had played a lot of basketball, some important games. It was a quick turnaround. Okay, I think they got to the point probably where they did wave the white flag. But it's still embarrassing to not see a team, because that's what you do all year long, all off season. You prepare for these moments in the postseason. I give them credit for getting there. I give them a lot of credit for playing Golden State competitively and then destroying Dallas, which I thought they were going to do. As I say all the time, this is a good basketball team. It's not a bad basketball team. But you got to go out there and put an effort. And they didn't put an effort. Just put an effort tonight. And Brevin said that as well. Let's see them go out there tonight, compete, battle, physically go toe-to-toe. They're not your best friends. Don't dap them up. Don't hug them. Slug them. I don't mean that literally, fight and get ejected like the bad boy Pistons, but I would like to see a little bit more toward that. You got to be physical, and it's not easy. This is a good team. I understand this team. I'm telling you, Oklahoma City is going to be challenged by somebody out there, but it ain't going to be the Grizzlies. But I'll still be happy to see the Grizzlies compete. That's all I'm asking. That's not too much to ask for from a team that for a long time this year was second in the West and has a supposed, three-headed monster. Asking them to compete is not asking too much.
I don't believe it is. Again, Sunday was an embarrassment. There's no doubt about it, and I'm sure they are embarrassed as well.
No question. If not, there's a problem, right?
They need to come out and play a lot better. That doesn't mean they'll win the game. Might still mean they get beat by 15 to 20, because again, that's what Oklahoma City does, especially to the Grizzlies. But I would hope that we see a heck of a lot better performance tonight, one way or another, regardless of outcome.
I'm telling you, if the Grizzlies lose by 20 points and they're competing, I'm not going to go off on this team tomorrow. If I see them lose by 25 or something like that and they just stopped competing, well, tomorrow will be ugly. That's the way it'll be. And it should be that way. Because all you want is a team to be competitive. And if they are competitive, even with a loss, people will come out Thursday. There'll be a big crowd. Saturday as well. to support their team. Because what do they say? Until a team wins on the other team's home court, the series hasn't begun. I don't believe that necessarily. Not certainly in this instance, but again, you compete tonight, you lose, and you go back home, people are going to be fired up. It's the playoffs. I'd rather see this team in the playoffs than not in the playoffs. I know the whole thing about maybe getting that chance at 0.5% to get the number one pick. Forget about it. The team, if they had lost to Dallas, would have been the worst case scenario. Even worse than getting blitzed in 4 games by Oklahoma City, because that's a team you shouldn't lose to. And they didn't. They went out there and they slapped them around, and that's what they should have done.
Folks, if you are moving to a new home, new office, any kind of move that you've got coming up, wherever it might be, whether across town or across country, don't try and do it all yourself. Get the experts, get the professionals to do that for you. Talk to the folks at Black Tie Moving at 901-316-6196. 901-316-6196, or you can go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk to the folks there. They'll work with you to come up with a plan for your move, fitting your needs, fitting your budget, give you no obligation quote up front. It's always just a first-class experience that you're going to get every single time when you go to the folks at Black Tie Moving. Again, 901-316-6196, or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places. Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Fun, exciting, friendly, and comfortable. Wall-to-wall TVs, 24 taps for all your beers, including $3 domestic, $5 craft pints on Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 happy hour. Music bingo Tuesdays, daily special and Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill. Lakeland's Town Square. 70 channels, entertainment special, weekend music at the Owner's Box.
It's the Freedom of Choice pricing program, Ram Truck Month and Jeep celebration all in one at Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat on the Pike. 2025 Compass Latitude 4x4, $49.69 off MSRP and $24,796 with Jeep Select Terrain System. Go from snow, sand, and mud. 2024 Dodge Hornet RT all-wheel drive, $12,673 off or $397 a month with a turbocharged 2.0-liter engine standard. One of the most powerful SUVs in its class. Or 0% for 72 months is available. 2025 Ram 1500 Tradesman Crew Cab with best-in-class payload capacity, now $13,335 off MSRP, or 1.9 for 72 is available. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat online at GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
404, MSRP 29765. Hornet R3 808 452, MSRP 44620. Ram SN 673 402, MSRP 5170. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 895 excludes tax title license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid to end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. Miramichi is now open on Mondays, and you'll find the lowest rate is on Thursday. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Ford's Home. Here once again, Margaret Gaston and Guy Serle.
Congratulations to the two Boston Marathon winners, the men and women's division, won by Kenyans. Shocking. They're good. This just in. That country produces some good long-distance runners. Did you see the picture somebody tweeted out of the Phoenix Suns, Eli? I'm throwing this your way. Did you see this? It's a picture of the Suns at one point, and I remember this. They had on their team, on the same team, Steve Nash, Kevin Johnson, and Jason Kidd. What?
It's a pretty good combination of point guards.
Oh, my gosh, that's a cool picture.
We're talking earlier, mentioned about the NFL draft, of course, getting underway Thursday. Jordan Reed for ESPN.com, he did his final mock draft, which he does all 7 rounds, which God bless anybody. Like, I can't even imagine trying to sit down and do an entire mock draft.
I know.
Like, at some point toward the end of that, you've got to just be throwing, I don't give a crap. I just got to get this thing done and turned in so they can post it. He has Chandler Martin going number 239 to the Cowboys. He is the only one of the Memphis guys that they had that he has going there. But he does have Chandler Martin going in the 7th round to the Dallas Cowboys in his 7-round mock draft.
The one of the 3, and I'm talking about Hennigan, Taylor, and Martin, the one of those 3 that did not get the combine invitation was Chandler Martin. He was not happy about that. He's showcasing his skills pretty well around different NFL sites, NFL teams.
Nico Harrison.
Nico!
Now, this time he actually had to be in front of media with cameras present. They couldn't tell folks that they couldn't tape him this time. The fact that he's, I guess, admits or says
I know
that he didn't know how important Luka was to that fan base. What in the, like, how would you not understand how important a guy who has been all NBA every year of his career is to the one fan base he's played for? Like, any player that's that good and has played in one place that long, and it's the only place he's ever played, I'm going to tell you right now, he is super important. Like, just look at what you're at your games all the time. Look at the jerseys that everybody's wearing. There's a reason they're all wearing Luka jerseys. How would you not have an idea of just how important he is to that fan base?
Is being a moron cause for a team to fire somebody? Is that cause? Is that legit? Or did he get a lawsuit? Being a moron. You heard Barkley's response. He said, just, Nico, we're friends. Just be quiet. No more pressers. Stop. Take the L. you lost this one. Yeah, I mean, every time now. And then you have stories. Now, I don't know how legit these stories are, but that Jason Kidd, who was told after the fact, was not happy, and that the owner now says, like, he didn't really understand that. I mean, what's going on? I mean, how is this guy going to survive? Because now it seems like everybody's coming out of the woodwork, not just the fans, to rip him apart.
It has not been a good couple of months for Nico's.
No, it has not.
The name Nico has taken a big hit the last couple of months. Parents who are probably going to name their kids Nico probably changing their mind now. No more Nicos. It's just been a bad little stretch here for Nicos. We'll see if they can correct things. By the way, the Grizzlies, good news, Grizzlies won a tiebreaker yesterday, the coin flips for the draft pick, so that the Wizards get a better pick.
Yes, I saw that.
They won their tiebreaker with Golden State and with Milwaukee. So they came to the top of the class of the teams with the same record, just so Washington gets the better draft pick. That's just... They should word that the Wizards won the draft. They don't need to say the Grizzlies won the tiebreaker.
Right.
The Wizards won the tiebreaker. Don't rub it into the fact that you don't have the draft pick. Nonetheless, they did win those tiebreakers. I did get a text here. So it says, whether you lose by 5 or 50, it's still one loss. Our situation was made during the second half of the season when we started resting everyone for what seemed like made-up injuries or load management. If our starters played as many minutes as the Knicks starters do, we would have probably ended up second or third. Having all these rotation players play during the year is what led to our current situation. I like our big three, but they need to play at least 70 games.
Love the text. Can't argue with that. As far as playing, I know the Knicks and Thibodeau under scrutiny, and now they got a series with Detroit. They're 1-1, and it'll get worse, really bad, if they lose the series. But I don't think it's because of the minutes that the players, his starters, play. And yes, there was a lot of that with the Grizzlies. I think that texter's right on.
I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, in the end, you're not talking about your love for everybody to play 70 games. It's probably not realistic, but there will be years that maybe that happens. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I mean, you're talking about the difference. I mean, 2 more wins and you're tied for third. So, right. I mean, this isn't a big, it was, you're talking very fine lines here between ending up 8th and ending up 3rd or whatever. Again, you go back to the beginning of the year, the losses to Brooklyn, the blown lead to Chicago. I mean, just go through the schedule, go to the series of buzzer-beating losses. The idea of finding 3 more wins that puts you in 3rd place is so easy to do. But that's the way it is in the Western Conference. And unfortunately for the Grizzlies, they got the short end of all those, and they end up 8th.
One of the top transfers out there in the portal for college basketball, Rodney Rice has picked USC, so he'll go play for friend of the show, Eric Musselman, as he decided to take a trip out to USC and become a part of the Trojans, picking them over Villanova, where his former coach went to, Kevin Willard, and Tennessee. Tennessee was also in the running for Rodney Rice.
The texter points out that Niko Medved did beat the Tigers in the tournament and got himself a little promotion out of that. So there's a Nico that has
not all bad for Nikos.
There's a Nico that has some positive things going in his life.
That's true. By the way, John Morant, according to StatMuse, has put up the most career points per game in game 2s of playoff series, averaging 39 per game. Really? Nobody's averaged more than 39, like Wilt back in the day and all that? John Morant. So expect Ja to have a big night tonight for the Grizzlies as they take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. We're back tomorrow starting bright and early at 7 a.m. to recap what goes down in Oklahoma City tonight. Our thanks to Connor O'Gara, to Brevin Knight, to Austin Chin, pinch hitting for Mickey Barker. We appreciate all the great guests. Tomorrow, Parth Upajai on Memphis Tigers basketball. I expect it to be a fruitful week for Memphis. I expect them to be able to nail down a couple of more players for the roster. Joe DeLeon will join us as well tomorrow to talk all things NFL draft, which gets underway on Thursday. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. For Eli Savoy and Elijah Seegers, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everyone.